Okay, so let's start with a new subject, that is CA Final Indirect Taxes, paper number 5 for your CA finals. I'll give you an overview first about the content, and then we'll get into the first chapter of our syllabus. Yes, so now in your CA final, what I have done, almost as per your ICAI material only. Okay, this is your, you already know, this is your volume 1, this is your volume 2, which is going to be both is going to be your content book. In the first chapter, I'll just show you the index. In the index, I have taken 14 chapters. Okay, till chapter number, from chapter number 1 to chapter number 14, it is there in your first volume. And then similarly, in your second volume, you are going to have from chapter number 15. Okay, chapter number 15 to the last one, that is chapter number 33, where your customs and FTP also comes to an end. Totally, this is how we have divided the chapters. Yes, in lines with your ICI material, you need not worry about the same. Yes, now as you can see here, till chapter number 25, okay, till chapter number 25, you have got your, what do you say, GST portion. Okay, and then from chapter number 26 to chapter number 33 is your customs and FTP. Okay, so this is the bifurcation available. From marks point of view, if I tell you, total paper is of 100 marks. Out of 100 marks, now, earlier the ratio was 75-25. Now the ratio is 80 marks is going to be your GST and 20 marks is going to be your customs and FTP. Okay, this is how the bifurcation is going to be done. So now you can guess that majority portion is going to be from the GST part. So yes, definitely we are also going to start with the GST portion first. Yes, we'll complete our GST portion because at many places there are going to be links coming off GST. So we'll first start with GST, we'll finish off GST, and then we go to the customs and FTP part. Manageable till here? Yes. Okay. Another thing, okay, another thing, how we are going to do. So let's say, for example, today if we start with the first chapter, okay, let's say today we start with an introduction, basics of GST, why GST, how did it came into picture, then everything, every basic about GST, as if you have never studied in your CA intermediate, as if you have never studied. Okay, we are going to study in that way. And another thing is here, once we do this particular chapter, once we finish the content from our book, okay, after that we are going to do the question answers. Okay, since you are doing the regular batch, so we are going to do the question answers, both subjective question answers as well as MCQs we are going to do here in the class itself. Okay, this is how the entire pattern is going to be. I hope we are good to go. Yes, more about the name of the chapters, etc. I need not tell you now. Okay, whatever is written in your index here, I need not tell you now. Okay, there's no point, because as in when we go ahead, we will see the chapters, etc. Yes. Okay, so let's start with the new chapter, first chapter of a syllabus, that is GST in India, an introduction. Yes, very basic chapter, very simple chapter, where we are going to study the pure basics about GST, that why GST came into picture, how GST came into picture, what all efforts were taken by the Indian government, etc. Why is GST such a big advantage as compared to the old laws, etc., that we are going to study here. Yes, everyone, this chapter is covered in your content book. Yes, GST in India, an introduction, very basic chapter. Yes. Now, okay, these are your notes. As of now, we need not refer the notes. We need to just go on understanding, and then whenever we are done with a particular concept, after that I'll tell you. Okay, I'll show it to you in your book so that even you are sure that okay, this thing is written here in our book. Okay, now listen. Okay, first of all, GST, full form of GST. Full form of GST, ma'am, this we know. Full form of GST is goods and services tax. Yes, goods and services tax. So can we also equate? Okay, can we also equate, and can we say that this is a tax on two things? This is a tax on goods also, and this is a tax which will be applicable on services also, right? Yes, perfect. Now, this GST is comparatively a new law, as you already know. Okay, this came somewhere in the year 2017. Okay, in July 1st, July to be very specific, 1st July 2017, this GST law became applicable. Okay, now what before that? Like, what was the scene before 1st July 2017? Was there no taxes applicable? No, ma'am. Taxes were applicable. Okay, taxes were applicable, and there were other type of taxes that were applicable. Maybe you must have heard about it. There was VAT that was applicable. There was Central Sales Tax (CST) that was applicable. Then there was a tax on. These two were applicable on sale of goods. Okay, on sale of goods, I should write it as sale of goods, these two taxes were applicable. Then on services, there was a tax called as service tax that was applicable. Okay, then on manufacturing, there was a tax, manufacturing of goods, obviously, there was a tax applicable called as excise duty. Okay, these were the taxes. This was the position in the old era. Okay, let's call it that way. This was the position in the old era. And then they removed. Now they say that they have removed almost. Okay, on some products still these taxes are applicable, but otherwise they say that they have removed the old taxes and they have introduced a new tax called as GST. Now, was the government simply sitting idle and then the government thought that let's remove the old laws and let's bring a new law? Was that the situation? Definitely no. Okay, definitely no. Now, can we say there must be some deficiencies? Okay, there must be some deficiencies in the old system, and just because we wanted to get rid of those deficiencies, we have totally done a full-fledged reform, right? We have done a full-fledged reform in our indirect taxes and we have brought this new law. Understanding this much? Okay. Chalo, okay, ठीक है. Now we directly started with GST. I want to ask you that whether this is a direct tax or whether this is an indirect tax. Okay, this GST, or forget about GST, the old taxes, VAT, CST, service tax, excise duty, etc. Whether this is a direct tax or whether this is an indirect tax. So now you will tell me, ma'am, obviously you are teaching IDT. So these taxes, okay, GST or old system VAT, CST and all those things will be considered as indirect tax. But what is the reason for the same? Okay, what is the reason for the same? Let's understand that so that, you know, we are clear from the basic itself. Now, can we say any taxes that we pay on our income? Okay, any taxes which we directly earn some income, on that we are paying some taxes. Such a type of taxes called as a direct tax. Example can be your income tax. Okay, you earn 100 rupees, example, you earn 100 rupees, you pay tax on that. That tax will be called as a direct tax. Okay, but when you are consuming something, okay, or when you are purchasing some goods, or you are availing some services, okay, you are not earning anything. In fact, you are expending your money. Okay, you are expending your money, you are consuming that. Okay, that will be considered as what? That will be considered as anything, any taxes that you pay at the time of consuming goods or services, that will be called as indirect taxes. Okay, example, when you go to a restaurant, okay, when you go to a restaurant and let's say you order some food from the restaurant. Okay, at the end when he gives you the bill, in that bill the description is written, name of that food item is written, price is written, and below that they add GST. Let's say they add GST at the rate of 5%, 2.5% and 2.5%, for example. Okay, now are you earning something from that restaurant? No, you are not earning anything from the restaurant, but can we say you are consuming some goods or services there? Yes, so at that time you as a consumer, you are paying certain taxes. Such a tax which you are not paying on your income but you are paying on your consumption, such a tax is called as your indirect taxes. Okay, now let's say after becoming chartered accountant, let's say you start earning immediately. Okay, and if you start earning it immediately, let's say your per month salary is equal to 2 lakh rupees. For example, your per month salary is equal to 2 lakh rupees. That is your income. On that income, you will be required to pay taxes to the government. That tax is called as what? That tax is called as a direct tax. Are you understanding this difference? Yes. Okay. So whatever we are going to deal with in this particular subject it is going to be about GST, and it is going to be about the indirect taxes. Are you understanding this? Okay. Now listen. Okay. So let us first understand one thing. When did GST come into picture? So GST came into picture on 1st July 2017. Okay. Does that mean the work of GST implementation started from the year 2017? Ma'am, definitely no. Can we say it would have started many years? It took many years to bring this GST into picture and to bring this reality. Yes. So they had told that the prime minister who was there in the year 2000, okay, then prime minister in the year 2000, he's introduced the concept of GST. Okay, and he said that we should design a GST model for our country. One nation, one tax. We should bring something like GST in our country. So he announced this in which year? He announced this in the year 2000. But then nothing could be done for many years because of issues in the government. Okay, then all of a sudden in the year 2006, they announced that GST will be applicable from the year 2010, 1st April 2010, new financial year, 1st April 2010, from 1st April 2010, GST will be made applicable. Ooh la la. Okay, they said that it will be made applicable, but unfortunately, again, nothing could be done. Okay, again, nothing could be done. And then finally, when the government got stabilized, okay, when the new government came in the year 2014, then eventually they started with, they really wanted to implement this GST, and for that purpose, they started implementing. Means they started taking steps towards its implementation. Now, when the new government came in the year 2014, government thought that if we want to bring GST, okay, now see, GST is one nation, one tax. You must have heard about this slogan, na? One nation, one tax. Means for the entire country, GST will be applicable. It is not that GST will be applicable only for my Maharashtra state, or GST will be applicable for your Kerala state or for your Tamil Nadu state. No, it is not that way. Okay, no, it is not that way. It is applicable for the entire country. Okay, now in our entire country, if I say, then we have got mainly two governments. Now we have got central government and we have got state governments. So now the next question arises that the revenue from this GST will go to which government? Will it go to central government? Will it go to state government? Because government is mainly concerned about that. We will collect the amount from the public. That is okay. But revenue goes to whom? Just like income tax revenue, we know it goes to the central government because it is a central act. But what about GST? So then they decided one thing, that none of the government should suffer. Okay, it should be a fair game now. So none of the government should suffer. Therefore, we should bring a dual model. Okay, we should do what? We should bring a dual model. Means the power should be given to both central government as well as state government. Are you understanding this? Power should be given to central government as well as state government, plus revenue will also belong to both the government, that is central government as well as state government. Okay, but looking in the past, there was no such model existing. Okay, either the powers were with the central government or the powers were with the state government. There was no concept of dual GST applicable or dual taxes applicable. Okay, now if I say VAT, so VAT powers were exclusively there with the state government. Okay, if I say service tax powers were exclusively there with the central government. So there was no such tax where there were dual powers both with the central government and state government, because Constitution of India, our Bible, okay, Constitution of India never gave joint powers to both the government. So first thing that the government thought before implementing GST was, we will have to do some amendments in our constitution. Okay, we will have to do first some amendments in our constitution, because now we will have to give dual powers to both the government to implement the GST. So now they had the steps ready with themselves. Okay, they had the steps ready with themselves. They thought that, okay, if we want to bring GST, the first step that we need to take is we will have to do some constitutional amendment. And they said, okay, fine. Let's start with changes in the constitution. So for that purpose, they proposed, okay, for that purpose, they proposed a bill called as Constitution Amendment Bill. Okay, now you must have heard about budget. Yes, every year the budget comes. Okay, now when our honorable finance minister, when they are reading the budget, you must have seen now on TV, earlier Nirmala Sitharamanji, she used to read the budget. Okay, now that is final, or she's just proposing these changes? She's proposing those changes. Okay, later we have to take approvals from Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, president approval, etc. Then only that budget becomes final. Okay, so till the time it is not final, it is called as a bill. And once it gets final, after that, it will be called as Constitution Amendment Act. Okay, so the then government who was there in 2014, the Modi government, okay, they did what? They proposed this Constitution Amendment Bill. Okay, and when they proposed this Constitution Amendment Bill, this was done. Okay, this was introduced in the year 2014 itself. Okay, when the government came, immediately after that, within a few months itself, they proposed this particular bill. Okay, but now the journey between bill and act was not simple. Okay, that journey was not at all simple, because we required the approvals from Lok Sabha, then we required the approvals from Rajya Sabha. Okay, then after that, we required approval from at least 50% of the states. That why do we need to do this constitutional amendment? Right? And after that, we required the approval from our most important person, that is our President of India. Okay, so this journey took time. Okay, getting approval in Lok Sabha. Like in Lok Sabha, it was passed somewhere in May 2015. Okay, then after that, we went to, this is Lok Sabha. Okay, then after that, we went to Rajya Sabha. Okay, in Rajya Sabha, it got approved somewhere in August 2016. It took that much of time to convince and to get approvals from the members of the Rajya Sabha. Okay, then after that, we got approval from the states. Once we got approval from the states, then finally we got approval from our president. That was somewhere in April. Okay, that was somewhere in April 2017. So process started from where? The process started from the year 2014 and it went up to April 2017. By the time we got approval from whom? By the time we got approval from our president. Okay, this was for what purpose? This was for the purpose of doing the constitutional amendment. So basically, my Constitution Amendment Act, okay, my Constitution Amendment Act that was passed, one second. This precedent thing for constitutional amendment, this happened in 2016, not in 17, because in 17 anyway your GST had come into picture. So this happened somewhere in September 2016. Yes. Okay. So from 2014 to your September 2016, this thing was going on. Okay. And finally, when your Constitution Amendment Act was passed, then the government knew that now no one can stop GST from getting introduced here in India, because the most important thing, that is doing the constitution amendment, that was done. Okay, that was done by September 2016. Once this was done, then after that, they formed this council called as GST Council. Okay, they formed this GST Council, and GST Council that was formed on 12th September 2016, and that was constituted finally by the President of India on 15th September 2016. I'll show you all these things in the books. Okay, as of now, don't remember all the dates, just understand this. Okay, so once Constitution Amendment Act was passed by the President in September 2016, immediately after that, they made a council, okay, a group of persons called as GST Council, and then they started framing the GST laws. Okay, because till now we did not work on GST. Till now we worked only on getting the constitutional amendment done. Okay, so now they started making the GST laws. That let's bring GST laws into picture. Okay, for that purpose, again, they had to take approval from the Lok Sabha. Okay, then they had to take the approvals from the Rajya Sabha. Okay, and then they directly went to the President. Okay, just try to understand. Now, when I tell you that they started making the GST law here, means they started making the central law. Okay, central law means, is it applicable to a particular state or is it applicable to whole of India? It is applicable to whole of India. So they made the central GST laws. Okay, they made the central GST laws. Then they went to Lok Sabha. They got approval from Lok Sabha. Somewhere in March 2017, they got approval from Lok Sabha. Then they got approvals from the Rajya Sabha also. And then they went to the President that, sir, the central GST laws have been framed. Okay, and then yes, this approval was given by the President on 12th April 2017 about the central GST law. Okay, then after that, the GST Council approached all the states that, see, the central law is made and that is ready for implementation. Okay, that is ready for implementation. Now, do you also want to adopt this GST? Okay, constitutional amendment have been done. Powers have been given to central government as well as state government for implementing the GST. Central GST laws were made applicable. Now we went to all the states that please start implementing GST in your states also, and please start making state laws also, respective state laws. Okay, example, Maharashtra government will make Maharashtra GST law. Okay, and by this time, okay, by 30th June, yes, by 30th June 2017, all the states, okay, all the states excluding Jammu and Kashmir, all the states excluding Jammu and Kashmir, they had made their respective state laws. Okay, so now a central law was ready and respective state government laws were ready, except for one state, that is your Jammu and Kashmir. So government said, okay, no problem. Why to delay it? Okay, so immediately from the next day, that is from 1st July 2017, the government said, let's make GST applicable. Okay, let's make GST applicable to whole of India, excluding the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Means they did not wait for this exclusion. Okay, they immediately made the GST law applicable to whole of India, excluding the state of Jammu Kashmir from 1st July 2017. And then God knows what happened within a week's time. Okay, within a week's time, GST law was applicable, was adopted even by Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, it was adopted by Jammu and Kashmir also. It was extended to Jammu and Kashmir also. And now, as on today, if I tell you the position, as on today, the GST law is applicable to whole of India, including the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Are you understanding this? Yes. So first we did a constitutional amendment, and after that we started framing the GST laws. Okay, in framing of GST laws, the first law that was framed, that was your central law. Okay, that was done with the help of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha and the President. Okay, and then after that we approached the respective states. We told to the respective states that please start making your own laws. They also started making their own laws. By 30th June, all the states made their own state laws, and by 8th of July, even that was done by Jammu and Kashmir. Yes, so now the question arises. Okay, now the question arises that, ma'am, in GST laws, which all acts were made? Like in Income Tax Act, we have got the Income Tax Act, we have got the income tax rules, etc. In GST laws, which all acts were framed? So now let me tell you, everyone, this is very, very crucial. Okay, basic points to understand the entire GST. Okay, first of all, they made a Central GST Act 2017, also called as CGST Act 2017. Okay, who will regulate this act? This act will be regulated by the central government, CGST Act 2017. Okay, then they made an act called as UTGST Act 2017. UTGST Act stands for Union Territories GST Act 2017, commonly known as UTGST Act 2017. Can you tell me this act will be made for whom? Okay, this act will be made for the Union Territories of India. Ma'am, which Union Territories? Wait, we are yet to do that. Okay. Then we went to the states and we told to the state that please make State GST Act 2017 for respective states, commonly known as SGST Act 2007. Can we say that this is applicable for every state who has made this act? Yes, SGST means example. We have got Maharashtra SGST, we have got Tamil Nadu SGST, we have got Kerala SGST, we have got Gujarat SGST, so on and so forth. We have got different acts, and this is not made by the center, this is made by the state itself, right? Okay, then we made an act called as, I'll write the full form only, integrated. Okay, we made an act called as Integrated GST Act 2017, commonly known as IGST Act 2017. For the timing, just remember that this act will be regulated by whom? This act will be regulated by the central government. Okay, this is the second act which is regulated by the central government. First one was what? First one was your CGST, even that was regulated by the central government. And second act which is regulated by central government is your IGST Act. Ma'am, why are we making this act? Wait. Okay, we are just learning the name of the laws or name of the acts which are framed. Okay, then after this, the last act that was framed here was GST, normal goods and service tax, GST compensation to states. Okay, GST compensation to states, Cess Act 2017, commonly known as Compensation Cess Act. Okay, and this will also be regulated by central government. Now, the next thing that we see, these four things, CGST, UTGST, SGST, IGST, these four are made for what purpose? These four are made for the purpose of GST taxes. Okay, these four are made for the purpose of levying GST. But the last act is made for the purpose of providing compensation to the states. Means maybe because of GST. Okay, maybe because of GST there is some loss to the state government, and that loss is going to be compensated by the central government to the state government. Okay, I'll tell you what loss, why loss, etc. Okay, now, so when this thing happened, okay, once we got the approval from the president, and after that once we got the approval from the states, etc., we started doing the implementation. And when we started doing the implementation, these GST laws came into picture. Okay, 5 GST laws: CGST Act, SGST Acts, UTGST Act, IGST Act, and the last one is your GST Cess Act 2017. Are you understanding this? Okay. Now, ma'am, what is the purpose of making so many acts? Let's try to understand what is the purpose of these acts. So now, government said that we want to levy GST. Okay, if we want to levy GST, this is called as one nation, one tax. Okay, and for this purpose, they called it as a dual GST model. What did they call this as? They called it as dual GST model, where the powers are going to be there with both central government as well as state government. So they said that if you want to, let's say, levy GST at the rate of 18%, okay, if you want to collect GST at the rate of 18%, then this will be levied by both of them, that is central government and state government, and in a very simple manner. Central government will, let's say, levy 9%, state government will levy, let's say, 9%. This is how the entire GST is going to be levied. And this revenue will go to the respective governments. 9% will go to the central government, 9% will go to the state government. Okay, now listen. Central government is collecting 9%. This power comes from which act? This power comes from the CGST Act. Okay, now that particular government, state government, is collecting 9%. So this power comes from which act? It comes from the respective SGST Act. Are you understanding this? Yes? Okay. So the purpose of CGST Act is nothing but to give powers to the central government to collect taxes. Okay, this act is giving powers to the central government to collect the taxes. Similarly, SGST Act 2017 is giving powers to every state to collect the taxes. Okay, similarly, UTGST Act is giving powers to the union territory to collect the taxes. Okay, till here is it clear, everyone? Yes? Okay. Now listen, everyone, just try to understand here. Now they say that what if there is some sale of or supply of goods or services, and that is done within the same state. Okay, what if it is done within the same state? Okay, example, what if it is done from Maharashtra to Maharashtra? What if it is done from Maharashtra to Maharashtra? Then in that case, this is called as intra-state supply. Within the same state, intra-state supply. Yes. So which taxes will be applicable here? So here, CGST, let's say total is 18%. So CGST will be applicable and Maharashtra SGST will be applicable. Okay, these are the two types of taxes that will be collected. Let's say total percentage on these goods and services is 18%. So SGST will take 9%, CGST will take 9%, Maharashtra SGST will take another 9%. Okay, similarly, what if it is between two union territories? What if it is between two union territories? Then it is considered as intra-union territory. Okay, if it is considered as intra-union territory, which taxes will be applicable? Half of the tax has to go to the central government and half of the tax will go to the union territories, and a tax will be charged called as UTGST. Okay, a tax will be called as UTGST. Okay, now what if the transaction is done between two different states or union territories? Okay, let's say the transaction is done between Maharashtra to Tamil Nadu. What will happen in this case? First of all, this will be called as what? This will be called as interstate supply. Okay, this will be called as interstate supply. And whenever there is a case of interstate supply, there is a tax applicable called as IGST. That was under which law? That was under your IGST Act 2070. And this tax is collected by whom? This tax is collected by the central government. Okay, now listen. In IGST, full rate will be charged here. Okay, and later, okay, please try to understand this. Later, this revenue of IGST of 18% will be shared between central government and the state government. Okay, this will be this bifurcation we are not required to do. We are just required to collect which tax? We are just required to collect the tax of IGST, and then this amount will be shared by the central government between central government and state government. Next doubt that arises is, ma'am, this will go to which state government? Like, will it go to Maharashtra or will it go to Tamil Nadu? So always remember, GST is the destination based tax. Okay, destination means this revenue will go to which state government? This revenue will go to Tamil Nadu state government. Why Tamil Nadu? Because the goods are going to be destined for Tamil Nadu. Are you understanding this? Yes. Chalo, one more example. Let's say the transaction is between one union territory and another union territory. Now it is not within the same union territory. So even this will be considered as what? Even this will be considered as interstate. And if this will be considered as interstate, again which tax will be applicable? Again, IGST will be applicable. Okay, whenever I say within the state, there can be two possibilities, either CGST and SGST, or second possibility can be CGST and UTGST. But when I say interstate, then only one tax can be levied, that is IGST, and this IGST will be later on divided by the government between central government and state government. Ma'am, which state government? Where the goods are ultimately going to go, that is the destination based state. Yes. One more example. What if the transaction is between a state and union territory? One state and one union territory. Then in that case, again, this will be considered as interstate. Okay, if it is considered as interstate, which tax will be applicable? Always IGST will be applicable. If it is within the same state, then there can be two combinations, either CGST and SGST, or it will be CGST plus UTGST. Understanding this? Yes. Okay, this is how the different types of taxes are levied, and to levy these taxes, the respective acts were made. Are you understanding this? Yes. And now the last act. Why this act? The act called as Compensation Cess Act. Okay, now listen. Earlier, okay, in the old regime, there were certain products. Okay, two category of products, I should mention it now. Something called as demerit. Okay, something called as demerit products and something called as luxury products. Okay, demerit products means not good products. Example can be tobacco. Example can be pan masala. Or there can be certain luxury products like your motor cars, etc. So now they are telling that earlier, you know what used to happen? On these products, the state government used to levy heavy taxes. Okay, state government used to levy heavy taxes. But now that will be gone. Now GST will be applicable. And this GST, as you must have observed from here, that part of the amount is with the central government and part of the amount is with the state government or the union territory. Means, can you tell me, earlier full amount was going to the state government, now half amount is going to central government, half amount is going to the state government. Is it a loss of revenue? Yes, this is a loss of revenue. Loss of revenue to whom? This is a loss of revenue to the state government. So state government said that nahi chalega, this is not allowed. Okay, this is not allowed. So central government levied a tax called as GST cess. it levied a tax called as GST, compensation to states cess. And there the central government collected some amount of taxes on these products only. Okay, it collected some amount of extra tax over and above the normal GST. It collected some extra tax, and then this amount will be paid to whom? This amount will be finally paid to that state, which says that I have suffered some amount of loss. Are you understanding this? Yes, for this purpose, the last act came into picture. That was your GST, Compensation to States Cess Act 2017. Okay, this will be collected by whom? This will be collected by the central government, but this will be paid by central government to the state government just because they have suffered some amount of loss. Are you understanding this? Manageable till here? Yes. Okay. Yes, sure. So now, many things we have done here, right? I'll just show it to you again, what all things we did. First of all, we saw how did they bring the GST. Yes, it had come into picture from July 2017. Before that, we had these different laws existing. And for different laws, different governments were given the power. Now they said we want to give sorry, now they said that we want to give dual powers to both central government as well as state government. For that, they thought that we need to bring a constitutional amendment. For that, they passed a bill. Okay, then that bill got approved and finally it got converted into an act. Okay, once it got converted into an act, we got the approval of the president, etc. by September 2016. Okay, and after that, we started making the GST laws. Okay, the GST Council was formed and they started making the GST laws. In GST laws, the first law that was made was the central law. Now you know the meaning of central law, that is your CGST Act. Okay, CGST Act was made, that was approved by Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. Okay, since it was nowhere concerned with the state, so they did not take the approval from the state. So they went to Lok Sabha, second they went to Rajya Sabha, third they went to the president, and president also gave his approval. After that, they went to GST Council, approached all the states and told that, see, centrally GST has been passed. Now we have to see that whether every state also passes that. Okay, for that purpose, all the states started passing their respective state GST laws, and this was done by 30th June 2017, except for Jammu Kashmir. So they said that, okay, nothing doing, no need to wait. From 1st July 2017, they made the GST law applicable to whole of India, excluding the state of Jammu Kashmir. And on 8th July, it was adopted by Jammu Kashmir also. Okay, so the current position is GST is applicable to whole of India, including Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, now the GST laws or the GST acts which came into picture was your CGST Act, UTGST Act, SGST Act, IGST Act, and GST Compensation to States Cess Act 2017. Okay, there we studied that since it is a dual GST model, whatever amount of GST we are going to charge from the customer, that revenue will flow to two governments, central government and state government. Whatever goes to the central government, that will go through the CGST Act. Whatever goes to the state government, that will go to the through the SGST Act. Okay, and then we saw that when CGST, when SGST, when UTGST, when IGST will become applicable. Okay, this is what we had discussed. And yes, what was the purpose of the GST Compensation Cess Act? Purpose of GST compensation was, in the old law, entire revenue on some luxury products and on some demerit products, actually this was going to whom? This was entirely going to the state government, but now it is being shared between the state government and the central government. So the states started crying that we want the compensation in that case, because we are losing out on the revenue. So central government said that, okay, anyway these products are either demerit products or luxury products, so we will charge GST also, plus we will charge some GST compensation cess. So this is collected by the central government, and then this is paid to the state government just as a compensation. Are you understanding this? Yes. Okay. Now if I ask you, can you tell me CGST Act 2017, Okay, Central GST Act 2017. This will be applicable to whom? So this will be applicable to whole of India, right? Okay. Next way, similarly, the next one, that is your, let's say, your IGST Act. Okay, IGST Act, Integrated GST Act. First of all, when is IGST applicable? IGST is applicable in case of interstate supply. Remember here, IGST is there, here also interstate. So, in case of all the interstate or inter-union territory transaction, IGST tax is collected. It is collected by the central government, but later it is shared by the central government with the state government. So, even this act is applicable to whole of India. Okay, similarly, SGST Act. Okay, SGST Act. Is there one act or are there multiple acts here? There are multiple acts because every state will make their own act. Okay, so this will be applicable to the respective states. Manageable? Maharashtra SGST will be applicable only to the state of Maharashtra. Next, UTGST. I'll shift this a little. UTGST Act 2017. This will be applicable to whom? This will be applicable to the union territories. Yes, ma'am, which union territories? Okay, now listen, India has got total 8 union territories. Okay, ma'am, which are those 8 union territories? Okay, everyone here, just pay attention, something important. Okay, Chandigarh, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Ladakh, okay, Lakshadweep Islands, yes, then Daman and Diu, and Dadra and Nagar Haveli. Okay, this we are taking it together. Okay, and any other place, that can be any other territory, any other union territory if the government notifies it later on. So basically 5 points only. Okay, basically 5 points only. Chandigarh, Andaman and Nicobar, Ladakh, Lakshadweep, Daman and Diu, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, and any other territory. And then comes Delhi, Puducherry, and Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, these were your 8 union territories. Now, as per constitution, these 8 are your union territories. Okay, now for the purpose of GST, the GST Council went to these union territories and told that you will be covered by UT-GST Act. Okay, so then the objection was raised by these 3. Okay, objection was raised by these 3, Delhi, Puducherry, Jammu Kashmir. They said that we don't want to follow UT-GST Act. We want to make our own legislature. What did they say? We want to make our own legislature. We will make our own SGST Act. So GST Council said, no problem. What's the problem? You make your own SGST Act. So these 3, even if these 3 are union territories, these 3 are still considered as what? These 3 are still considered as states for the purpose of GST. Okay, can we say these 3 are called as union territories with own state legislature? They are union territories, but as a state they have made their own law. So Delhi is going to have its Delhi SGST, Puducherry is going to have its Puducherry SGST, then your Jammu Kashmir is going to have its own SGST. Yes, okay. So ma'am, what about the balance 5 and others? What about these 5? These 5 said that we are good. Okay, we are good as what? We are good as union territory. Okay, so whenever I say union territory for the purpose of GST will be only 5. Okay, ma'am, how do we remember the name? Okay, you can remember it as Call, D and others. Okay, Call, D and others. C. Chandigarh, A. Andaman and Nicobar Islands, L. Ladakh, L. Lakshadweep, D. Daman and Diu and Dadra and Nagar Haveli, and others, any other territory as may be notified by the government. So call D and others is the code for remembering your union territories. Okay, these will be called as union territories with no state legislature. Means have they made their own law? No, they haven't made their own law. So they will be regulated by only one act called as UT-GST Act 2017. Understanding this? Yes. So all your acts are done. CGST is done. IGST is done. SGST is applicable to whom? I hope you have understood. Yes, it is applicable to all the states, plus it is applicable to 3 union territories who are having their who have made their own state legislature. And then UT-GST will be applicable to call D and others. Manageable till here? Yes. Okay. Take it. Now, whatever we have done till here, I'll just show it to you in the textbook so that you will understand it. Okay. First of all, here the date is given that GST is applicable to from which date? Then GST is applicable to whole of India. This line I am leaving for the time being. Okay. Consumption tax, you know, whenever we are consuming any goods or services, at that time you pay this tax. Okay. Destination, kind of I have told you. Remember, in case of IGST, I had shown you this. Everyone here on the board. In case of IGST, I had shown you, IGST is collected by the central government, and after that it is shared between the central government and the state government. So at that time I had asked you, it will go to which state government? So you had told me, ma'am, wherever is the destination. Okay, wherever is the destination, it is going to go to that particular government. So that's why GST is a destination based tax and a consumption tax. Then after that, we studied about the constitutional amendment, how the constitutional amendment was done. For that, first we passed a bill, Constitution 122nd Amendment Bill. See, 122nd bill is for the purpose of GST. Before that also, there were many other reasons for which we would have done this constitutional amendment. And after that, it got converted into the act called as Constitution 101st Amendment Act 2016. Okay, then we passed the central law, right? We passed the central law, that is your CGST Act was passed. Yes, and then after that we went to the states. States also started passing their own laws, and then by 30 June, do you recollect? By 30 June everything was done. So they made it applicable from 1st July, and then from 8th July also it became applicable to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Now, with effect from 1st July 2017, which all laws came into picture? So CGST Act came into picture, IGST Act came into picture, UT-GST Act came into picture, and GST compensation to states cess Act came into picture. Plus, along with that, even your SGST Acts, multiple SGST Acts also came into picture. That was passed by the respective states. Okay, then this other law which is written here, this is not relevant. Okay, I'll tell you why this is not relevant. Now, in between, whenever we wanted to do changes in the act, at that time we used to pass the amendment acts. Okay, every year in the budget, there are some or the other amendments given. For that, Finance Act is passed, and this is going to be an ongoing process. Okay, so you need not remember the name of this other laws. Main 5 laws: CGST, SGST, IGST, UT-GST, and GST compensation cess Act. Okay, just remember this much. Then, can you tell me state law will be applicable to whom? It will be applicable to all the states, plus it will be applicable to union territories with their own legislature. That is those 3, Delhi, Jammu Kashmir and Puducherry. Right? Rest of the union territories will do what? Rest of the union territories, that 5, call D and others. Call D and others. What will they do? They will pass their own respective, they will follow their UT-GST Act 2017. And yes, please remember, UT-GST Act 2017 are not multiple laws. Okay, there is only one UT-GST Act 2017 which is applicable to all of them. Understanding this? Yes. So till here, basically, till here we have completed our discussion till now. Manageable till here, everyone? Yes? Okay. Now listen, going on to the important concept, everyone here. Now listen, we have brought GST. Okay, earlier we had got VAT, CST, service tax, excise duty, etc. Okay, now those taxes are almost removed, I can say. Okay, these taxes are almost removed, and now we have got GST. Okay, was it implemented just for the sake of it, or was there some problems in the old system? Okay, there were some deficiencies in the old system, and because of which we have implemented the GST provisions, right? Because of which we have implemented the GST provisions. Okay, now what are the deficiencies? Let us understand that. Okay, what are the deficiencies? Let us understand that. Now, in the old system, what used to happen? Okay, I'll give you multiple pointers, then we'll refer it from the book. Okay, now, let's say first one. Okay, there were certain goods or services. Okay, there were certain goods or services in the old system where we did not have the clarity that whether it is goods or whether it is services. Ma'am, is it important to know whether it is goods or services? Yes, because if it was goods, then VAT was applicable. If it was services, then service tax was applicable. So, but there was no clarity. Okay, in respect of some goods and services, there was no clarity, because of which, what used to happen? Some people used to charge VAT also, and some people used to charge service tax also from the customer. Customer gone. Right? Second one. Next one is, there used to be cascading effect. There used to be what? There used to be cascading effect. Cascading effect means multiple taxes were imposed and tax on tax was imposed. Okay, I'll explain you how. Let's say there is a particular product whose cost is equal to 100 rupees. Okay, we have manufactured this product. Manufacturing cost is equal to 100 rupees. Okay, at the time of manufacturing, excise duty was applicable. Let's say at the rate of 10%. So 10 rupees was the excise duty. Amount including excise duty is equal to 110. Then we will add some profit. Let's say I added a profit of 40 rupees and my cost of sales before selling, my cost of sales plus profit. Okay, cost of sales plus profit is equal to, that is my basic selling price, I should write it as. Okay, selling price, basic selling price is equal to 150 rupees. And at the time of sale, let's say VAT was also applicable at the rate of 10%, that is 15 rupees. So total selling price is equal to 165. Okay, now is this okay or there is some problem here? Now, excise duty was applicable because there was a manufacturing. Understood, no problem. VAT was applicable because we are selling. Acha, let's bifurcate it. This 15 rupees we calculated on what? This 15 we calculated on the sales price. How did we get the sale price? This is 100 plus 10 plus 40. Acha, okay, that's how we got 15. Means we got, this 15 is nothing but 10%, na? So this is 10% on 150. Means can we say 10% on first 100, then 10% on 10, and then 10% on 40. This is how it went ahead, right? So this 10, this 1 and this 4. This is how we got 15 rupees. Still here, is it clear? I have done the full bifurcation. Okay. On this 100, this 10 rupees basically, can we say already excise duty is charged? Plus again the VAT is becoming applicable. Means on this 100, can we say there is a concept of multiple taxes becoming applicable? Problem. Okay. On this 10, again 10% VAT is levied. Means can we say this is VAT on excise duty? If this is VAT on excise duty, means can we say there is a tax on tax? Cascading effect. Okay. And then on the profit element, there is VAT applicable. That is okay. We don't have any problem. Okay, that is okay. No problem. So where is the problem? There are two problems. One is on this basic 100, first we paid excise duty, and on this again we are paying the VAT. Right? On this 10, this 10 is your excise duty. On this 10 you are paying the VAT. So this was the biggest problem. Okay, this was the biggest problem under the old regime. Ma'am, then how it should have been? It should have been like this. The correct treatment should have been like this. Manufacturing cost is 100. Let's say excise duty is equal to 10. Value is equal to 110. Plus profit is equal to 40. Basic selling price is equal to 150. Plus, let's say VAT. Let's say VAT at the rate 10%. Okay, VAT at the rate of 10% should have been only on the value addition. Okay, how much is the value addition here? How much is the value addition? The value addition that I am doing here is 40 rupees. 40 rupees of the profit amount, that is the value addition here. Okay, now is there any difference in the tax amounts? Yes, here the VAT was applicable at the rate of 10% on the selling price. Okay, now here the VAT should have been applicable only on the value added, because on this 10 already excise is done. Okay, this is anywhere type of tax, and this is the only value addition that we are doing. So ideally it should have come on what amount? Ideally it should have come on this 40, that is total amount should have been 154 rupees. Amount that is to be collected from the customer is equal to 154 rupees. Okay, but in the above example, how much did we collect? We collected 165. Have we collected something more from the customer? Yes, definitely. Yes, we have collected something more from the customer. So this is the problem. But VAT never came at 4 rupees. It always used to come at 15 rupees because of two reasons. One is multiple taxes, and second one, tax on tax. This is the biggest problem that they wanted to eradicate. Okay, another thing which they introduced in GST. Okay, another thing which they introduced in GST was, now they are telling that, okay, no problem. If you want to do this also, you do. Okay, but let's do one thing now. When you are now paying the VAT to the government of 15 rupees, can we say we are paying excise duty and VAT on the same product? Right? We are paying it on the same product. So when you are paying VAT, please take the set off. Please take the set off of taxes paid earlier. How much was the tax paid earlier? Tax paid earlier was 10 rupees. So pay a VAT only of 5 rupees. I said okay. But then we realized this VAT, I'll use another ink so that you are able to identify. This VAT goes to state government, and this excise duty was going to central government. Will any of the government compromise? No, none of the government will compromise. Okay, none of the government is going to compromise. So they said that no, we cannot allow this set off. So even that is gone. Did you understand? So basically, set off of excise duty. Okay, set off of excise duty against liability of VAT. Allowed or not allowed? Not. Yes, because of which the cost for the customers went very high. Okay, the cost for the customers went very high. Instead of 154 on a product, the customer was paying 165 for a particular product. Are you understanding the problems in the old law? Yes. Now, ma'am, can you tell us how it works under GST then? Or how they have tried to solve this problem under GST? Let's understand this. Okay, take out your calcs, everyone. Take out your calculator. Yes, everyone, pay attention. Let's say manufacturer is selling something to the wholesaler. Okay, manufacturer is selling something to the wholesaler. Let's say basic selling price is equal to 100 rupees. So manufacturer will charge some GST. Okay, I'm not doing the bifurcation of CGST, SGST. I'm taking overall GST of 18%. Let's say 18 rupees. Okay, how much are we going to charge from the wholesaler? We will charge 118 rupees from the wholesaler. Okay, now manufacturer is collecting 118 from this wholesaler. What will the manufacturer do? He will keep this 100 in his pocket and 18 rupees he will pay it to the government. Can we say at this level, amount paid to the government is equal to 18 rupees? Perfect. Okay, next. At the next level, wholesaler is going to sell it to the retailer. Let's assume it that way. Okay, and let's say wholesaler is selling it at 150 rupees. He will add some profit now. Let's say he adds 50% profit, 50 rupees of profit. Okay, on that, can we say he will charge GST in the invoice? He will charge GST from the retailer at the rate of 18%. Okay, 150 into 18% is going to give me 27 rupees. Total amount that he will charge from the retailer is 170. Okay, now I want you to think from wholesaler point of view. Wholesaler is liable to pay how much amount to the government? From this transaction, he has collected 27 now. So 27 has to be paid to the government. But then he realizes he has already, at the time of his purchases, okay, at the time of his input, he has already paid tax of 18 rupees to the manufacturer. So he will get something called as input tax credit. Means he will get a credit of the taxes which he had paid at the time of his input. So 18 rupees will be subtracted here and the net amount that he will be paying to the government is equal to 9 rupees. Understanding this? Yes? Okay. Let's go ahead. You will understand a little more. Now, last, retailer to consumer. Okay, how much is this amount? Retailer to consumer. Let's say retailer sells it to the consumer at 200 rupees. He had purchased at 150. He is adding profit of more 50 and he is selling it to the consumer. And from the consumer, he is charging GST at the rate of 18%. 36 rupees he is charging from the customer. Total amount is equal to 236. Okay, again I want you to think from the retailer point of view. Retailer, how much amount is he going to pay to the government? He is going to pay 36 rupees to the government. But then he suddenly realizes at the time of purchases from the wholesaler, how much amount did I pay as GST? I paid 27 rupees as GST. So again, net amount payable to the government is equal to 9 rupees. Understanding this? Okay. Can you tell me how much is the total tax paid to the government? At the first level, we paid 18. Second level, we paid 9. Third level, we again paid 9. So 18 plus 9 plus 9. Total amount is equal to 36. Ma'am, let's tally this. Let's match this. At what price did we sell it to the customer? We sold it to the customer ultimately at 200 rupees. On 200, what is the rate of GST? 18%. So the final tax gone to the government is equal to 36. And ultimately, this 36 we have taken from whom? This 36 we have charged it from the customer and we have paid it to the government in parts. See, customer paid it to the retailer. Retailer paid it to the wholesaler. Wholesaler paid it to the manufacturer and from that amount only they paid it to the government. So these middlemen, manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer, they have never borne any amount of taxes. Okay, the amount was borne ultimately by whom? The amount was borne by the customer. Okay, and there is no double taxation that is happening here. Why? I'll tell you. Okay, now GST is also a value added tax. Okay, at the first level, there was a value of 100 rupees. On 100 rupees, directly apply 18%. How much is the value added tax here? 18 rupees. Okay, at the second level, how much is the value added by the wholesaler? Only 50 rupees. On 50, directly apply 18%. On 50, if you apply 18%, again you will get the answer as 9. How much is the value added by the retailer? He also added further 50 rupees. So 50 into 18%, again you will get the answer as 9. So at every level, only that much amount of tax is getting applicable, which is there on the value addition. Okay, which is there on the value addition. Are you understanding? Yes. So in case of GST, there is no cascading effect. There is no multiple taxes. Okay. First of all, why there is no multiple taxes? Because there is no excise and VAT. There is only one tax applicable, that is GST. Okay. Secondly, why there is no cascading effect here? Because we are most important lifeline of GST. Most important thing here is most important thing here is the benefit of ITC. Because of that, again and again, the value of tax is not getting added in my value. Manageable till here? Okay. So this is what is written here. And now I'll explain you, everyone here. See the concept of GST. Okay, we have discussed everything. See what is the concept of GST. First one, it is a value added tax. Remember, just now, whenever there is any value addition, okay, whenever there is any value addition, 100 rupees, 50 rupees, again 50 rupees, only then the GST will be applicable. And it is a single tax applicable on manufacture, sale, consumption, etc. Earlier, on manufacturing, we had excise duty. On sale and consumption, we had VAT, CST, service tax. But now, on every type of transaction, be it on goods or be it on services, you are just going to have one single tax. Okay. Next, there is a continuous chain of tax credit. Did you observe from this example? Every person was taking, if he has paid the taxes at the time of his purchases, he was taking the input tax credit of the same. So there is a continuous chain of tax credit, because of which the businessmen are not at all required to bear that particular tax. That amount of tax will be borne by whom? The final burden will be borne by the customer. Okay, why customer can't pass it on to anyone else? Because customer is the final person who is consuming it. The transaction ends there itself, right? And last, because of the concept of ITC. Okay, because of the concept of ITC, there is no cascading effect of taxes, right? Understanding this? Okay. And then, can you see they have given an example here? Manufacturer to distributor. I just use the word wholesaler, to retailer and to consumer. Okay, whatever example I gave you, similar example is given here. Okay, we have just taken different figures. Here they have used different figures. Are you understanding this? Manageable, everyone? Yes. So we have completed till here. Next, going on to the next part, which we had also started discussing. Okay, and then you can just take a break after this deficiencies get over. Okay, everyone here. Now, what were the problems? What were the problems under the old law? Do you recollect I had told you in some goods and services, the classification was very difficult, whether it is goods or whether it is services. Yes, the classification was very, very difficult. So what did they say? They said that earlier VAT will also apply, service tax will also apply. Problem? Yes, it is a problem. Okay, next, do you recollect SENVAT, excise? SENVAT is nothing but excise. Excise duty credit was not available in our example also. We had discussed this. I'll show it to you. This credit of 10 rupees against 15 rupees, available or not available? Not available, because both the revenue was going to two different governments. So not available. And VAT, that is one thing. Set off against each other was not possible. That is one problem. And another thing, VAT was levied on value including excise. Do you recollect? This 10% was calculated on this 150, and 150 has your basic value, plus it has excise duty, plus it has got your profits also. So on excise duty also there was VAT applicable. That was the third problem. Okay. Then, earlier state government used to levy its own taxes. Okay, state government used to levy its own taxes, whatever taxes. Okay, luxury tax, purchase tax, advertisement tax, whatever name you say, state government was given the power to levy multiple taxes. Okay, and that was causing a big distortion, that was creating a big problem. So they said that nothing doing, multiple taxes will be removed now, and we are just going to bring one tax. Okay, next thing. Sometimes it used to happen that VAT was anyway levied on goods, and service tax was levied by the central government on services. Okay, VAT by the state government, service tax by the central government. Can we say again on the same thing? Okay, let's say I'm providing you teaching services. Okay, that is the ultimate service that I'm providing. For that, let's say I have purchased some goods. Let's say I have purchased camera. Okay, or let's say I have purchased a blackboard, or let's say I have purchased a projector, and then I'm using those goods and I'm providing you the service. Now the service that I'll be providing you, that will have value, plus it will have service, plus it will have VAT on those goods, plus on the total value I will be charging the service tax. Means can we say service tax is charged on VAT also? Just like your excise duty and VAT example. Yes. So because now, in that case also, GST credit will be, your input tax credit will be available or not available? It won't be available. Why it won't be available? Because VAT was charged by the state government, whereas service tax was charged by the central government. So they said that VAT was not integrated with whom? VAT was not integrated with the services tax. Okay, now what is happening, now GST is applicable. Now GST is applicable on goods also as well as services also, and it is dually applied by both of them. Okay, but earlier it was not so. And next the state governments started crying. Okay, why did the state government started crying? Because nowadays service sector is growing at a very good pace, very good speed. Yes. Now if service sector is growing, then on services, service tax will apply. And if service tax will apply, that revenue will totally go to whom? That revenue will totally go to the central government, and who did not get any share of income? The state governments were not getting any state. So the basically the tax base of the states started getting eroded, started depleting. Okay, whose revenue started depleting? State government, because they were not allowed to charge the service tax. Right? Similarly, in case of interstate supply. Okay, in case of interstate supply, earlier there was a tax called as CST. Okay, central sales tax. Earlier there used to be a tax called as CST. And this CST, even if you pay it to the government, you will not get any tax credit of the same. Okay, you will not get. Once it is gone, it is gone. It is considered as an expense. Okay, is it that in case of GST? No, ma'am. In GST, whatever we pay on our purchases, at the time of our purchases, we get a credit of the same. But in case of CST, it is not that way. Okay, whatever amount of CST you pay, that is gone. So can we say CST credit is available or CST credit is not available? It is not available. So finally we will end up paying more amount to the government. And who will end up paying? Actually we are going to charge it from whom? Actually we are going to charge it from the customer. Right? And the last one, this CST, okay, this tax, same tax, this was totally against, okay, this was totally against the principle of indirect taxes. This was totally against the principle of indirect taxes, ma'am. Why? Because indirect taxes said that indirect taxes should be a destination based tax. Okay, it should be a destination based tax, means the revenue should go to that particular state where the goods movement is going to get terminated. Okay, whereas GST was totally ulta. It said that it is origin based tax, means the CST revenue will go to that state from where the transaction started and not where the transaction got over. So this was totally violating the principle of your indirect taxes. So these were basically your problems. Okay, these were your problems under the old law, and to meet these problems, we came up with the concept of GST. Are you understanding this? Yes? Okay. Can we go ahead, everyone? Yes, can we start? If you want to take a break, you are already in the video mode, so you can just pause the lecture and you can take a break. Yes, and then we start with the different part of the chapter. Now old laws are gone. Now we just want to study. Now we just want to study about GST. Okay, what all things they have introduced in GST, how they are getting the things done, etc. That we are going to study here. Okay, now I am beginning. Now they are telling us kind of tell us the features of IDT. Okay, multiple points we are going to study. Features of IDT, I mean features of GST. Okay, GST under your IDT. What are the features? Okay, now I'll tell you certain points, then we can just refer it from the textbook. Many of the points we have already discussed. Few of the points we will discuss it now. Yes, everyone here, just pay attention. Now listen, first of all, can we say GST is a dual model form? Yes. Why it is considered as a dual model? Okay, why is it considered as a dual model? Because your powers are given to two people. One is to the central government, second one is to the state government. Both have got the powers. Okay, both have got the powers to levy the GST. Yes. Okay. Next. Now, ma'am, which taxes can you please recollect? Help us in recollecting which all taxes are there under GST. So CGST is there, SGST is there, IGST is there, UTGST, etc. These were the taxes. Ma'am, can you recollect when which tax will apply? Yes. So that will depend upon whether the supply is a intrastate supply or whether it is interstate supply. Okay. If it is intrastate, means if it is within the same state. Okay, everyone quickly give me the answer. If it is within the same state, which taxes will be applicable? Combination of CGST and SGST will be applicable. Right? Combination of CGST and SGST will be applicable. Ma'am, what if it is within the same union territory? Chandigarh to Chandigarh, for example, right? Then in that case, it is going to be CGST. If I am saying union territory, means I am talking about Kaldi and others. I am not talking about Delhi, Puducherry and Jammu Kashmir, because Delhi, Puducherry, Jammu Kashmir is now considered as states only. Okay, for the purpose of GST. Okay, so now if it is within the same union territory, then it will be CGST plus UTGST will be applicable. Right? Acha. Now, if it is interstate, okay, if it is interstate, means let's say if it is between Maharashtra to Gujarat, then in that case there will be only one tax applicable, that is IGST. Okay, later IGST is collected by the central government, and then central government will share it between the center and the state, destination state, right? Then the second one is, let's say there is a transaction between one state and one union territory. Okay, one state and one union territory. Let's say it is this way, Maharashtra and Ladakh. Okay, then in that case, again, which tax will be applicable? IGST will be applicable, right? And then the next one, let's say if it is between two different union territories, let's say it is between Chandigarh and let's say it is between Ladakh, two different union territories considered as interstate. Okay, if it is considered as interstate, then in that case, again, what will be applicable? Your IGST will be applicable. Okay, and last point, what if it is between India and let's say USA? Okay, what if it is between India and USA? Then what will happen in such a case? If it is between India and USA, then can we say it is not at all done in India? Means the transaction is there between two different countries, right? In that case, again, this is deemed as what? This is deemed as interstate supply. Okay, and if it is deemed as interstate supply, then again, which tax will be applicable? Your IGST will be applicable. Are you understanding this? Yes. So this depends that which type of taxes will be applicable. That depends on the type of transaction or type of supply, that where is it getting done? Is it getting done within the same state, or is it getting done in the other state? Is it getting done in the other country? It depends upon that. Yes. Okay. So this type of tax will be applicable. Now listen. Now next thing that they tell us here is, now in GST, they have introduced multiple rates. Okay, multiple rates of GST are introduced. Example, 5% is also the rate, 12% is also the rate, 18% is also the rate, 28% is also the rate, some other percentages are also there. So now can we say there should be a proper classification that which product, what will be the rate of GST applicable? Yes. So they say that we have done classification of goods and we have done classification of services. Okay, in goods also, a specific category of goods. Okay, a specific category of goods will be classified. Let's say if I am talking about paper. Okay, if I am talking about paper, so there can be newspaper. Okay, then there can be paper, plain paper, plain paper, right? Then there can be something called as gift wrapping paper, gift wrapping paper. Okay, everything comes under a common heading called as paper, but within that also there can be multiple classifications possible. So they say that now here the rates of GST can differ. Let's say this is 0%, let's say this is 12%, let's say this is 18%. So what they have done is they are telling us that for every category of goods, see in India we have got so many category of goods now. So all these category of goods are divided, okay, and they are given a numbering. Okay, they are given a numbering. Every product will be given a separate numbering, and besides which a rate of GST will be written. Okay, this numbering that we use, this is called as HSN code. HSN stands for what? HSN stands for Harmonized System of Nomenclature. Okay, Harmonized System of Nomenclature. This is actually not made by India. This is a global concept and we use it in all the other part of the world also. That every product will be given a unique coding system, and then by using that code, we will come to know that what rate of GST is applicable on that particular product. Okay, HSN, Harmonized System of Nomenclature. Similarly, can we say in India we have got so many type of services also? Yes, teaching services, accountancy services, bookkeeping services, painting services, repairing services, carpentry services, so on and so forth. Right? So again what they have done is all the services are divided. Okay, and services are given a unique numbering that is called as SAC. SAC stands for Service Accounting Code. Okay, SAC stands for what? SAC stands for Service Accounting Code. Means, let's say accounting services, that will be given a particular SAC, and besides that there will be a rate of GST written. Okay, bookkeeping services, or let's say teaching services, a particular SAC code will be given, and for that a particular rate of GST will be specified. Yes, so for goods we use HAC code. For the purpose of services, for the purpose of classification of services, we use a code called as Service Accounting Code. Is it manageable till here, everyone? Yes, so this is done by the GST department to ease out, okay, to ease out things under GST. Now, a few more things which I want to tell you here about GST. Okay, general things, that's why I'm clubbing 3 points together here. Now, let's talk about registration under GST. Okay, if it is a new law, then can we say we will have to get ourselves registered with the government? Okay, we will have to get ourselves registered with the GST department. Okay, now here they say that not every person will have to get himself registered. Okay, now let's say I am a newly qualified chartered accountant and I have started my new practice. So earlier, maybe in the initial few months, I won't be having a very good turnover. Maybe. Okay, maybe I will not be having a very good turnover. So am I required? Let's say my first client comes and pays me 5,000 rupees, for example. Is GST applicable on that? Answer is no. Why? You are telling me, ma'am, turnover is very less now. Why to pay GST on that? So they say that only when your aggregate turnover, okay, only when your aggregate turnover exceeds a threshold limit. Okay, only when your turnover exceeds a particular limit. Let's say, for example, limit is 20 lakh rupees. Means only when my turnover goes beyond 20 lakhs, then only I am required to do my registration. Okay, and this registration is also a This is a state-wise registration. Okay, state-wise registration means if I'm having my office in Maharashtra, I will have to go and register myself with Maharashtra government. Okay, if I have one more office in Gujarat, then for that office, I will have to go to the Gujarat government. Yes, okay. Then, next one. Now, let's say once you are registered, then you will ask from the government, sir, are there some exemptions? Okay, are there some exemptions on which, on some goods or some services on which there will be no GST? So government says, yes, why not? Okay, there will be some essential goods or services on which they have totally exempted the GST. Okay, example, milk is there, curd is there, eggs are there, fresh fruits is there, fresh vegetables is there. These, they say that this is required by everyone, so let's not levy GST on the same. Okay, similarly, some healthcare services etc. are there, some transportation services etc. are there. On that also they say that there will be no GST applicable. Are you understanding this? So for that, what can the GST department do? For that, the GST department can give some exemptions. Okay, those products will be there in this rate schedule. Okay, those products will be there in the rate schedule. You will find, maybe you will find milk here 18%. Okay, but it is specifically exempted. Okay, government will pass what? Government will pass a notification for the same, and the government is going to exempt it for you. Okay, then next, for some small businesses. Okay, for some small businesses, government has introduced a scheme called as composition scheme. Okay, now they are telling that, okay, if your turnover, let's say if it exceeds rupees 20 lakhs, then you have to get yourself registered under GST. Yes, and once you get yourself registered under GST, then you will have to start paying those taxes to the government. Now they say that, sir, my turnover has exceeded 20 lakhs, but I'm still small. Okay, but I'm still small. Can I get some benefits? So government says, okay, we will give you some benefit. Do one thing, directly on your turnover, pay a flat rate of GST to us. Okay, no need to give us other details. Just pay on your, whatever is your turnover. Let's say his turnover is merely 22 lakh rupees. So on his turnover, he will pay a flat rate of GST, that too not the normal rate. Okay, not the normal rate, but this is going to be a discounted rate. What did I say? This is going to be a discounted rate. Let's say normal rate of GST is 18%. These people will be required to pay, for example, 3% or 1% or 6% or something like that. Okay, so can we say on the face it looks like it is very, very favorable? Yes, because on our turnover we are paying the GST, and that too at a lower rate. Okay, that too at a lower rate. Yes, so government has introduced the scheme called as composition scheme. Understanding this, did you understand the provisions of registrations, exemptions, composition scheme, etc.? Yes, okay. Then after that, now when this GST was introduced, this was the biggest indirect tax reform. Yes, biggest indirect tax reform that happened in India. So government said, we want to make everything online, plus we want to make everything transparent. Means the public should not lose faith in the system. So they said that everything should be online so that it becomes easy, and secondly, everything should be transparent. So they said that let's make a website. Okay, this website is called as GST Common Portal. Okay, this is called as what? This is called as GST Common Portal. Fine. Now, the name of the website or the web link of the website is www.gst.gov.in. Okay, if you log in, if you just visit the website, you will come to know. Okay, that is a primary website of our GST department. Now, this website is maintained by whom? This is maintained by GSTN, where N stands for what? Where N stands for network. Okay, and this GSTN is basically a Section 8 company formed under the Companies Act 2013. It is its responsibility, it is GSTN's responsibility to make this website and to run this particular website. And can we say this website is going to act as an interface between us and the government, between the taxpayer and the government? If we want to communicate, then it can be done only through this website. Okay, so they have used the information technology, and by using the information technology, they have made this particular website, which will be used for all the purposes. Okay, anything relating to GST. Okay, if I want to go and see the bare law, if I want to go and do the registration on the GST portal, or if I want to do the payment of taxes, everything will be done on this GST portal except for one thing. Okay, except one thing. What is that except one thing? Except making of a document. Okay, making of a document called as e-way bill. This we will study ahead. A document is generally generated whenever there is a movement of goods happening from one place to another, and that document is called as e-way bill. Okay, for creating this e-way bill, there is a separate website given, that is ewaybillgst.gov.in. Okay, only for this activity one different website is given. Otherwise, all the work is done on the GST common portal, that is gst.gov.in. Okay, another thing, this gst.gov.in is maintained by GSTN. Okay, whereas this e-waybill gst.gov.in, this is managed by the Government of India only. Okay, by a particular ministry under Government of India, means they haven't made a new company to run this particular website of e-waybill. Right? Acha. Now, what is the work of this particular what is the work of GSTN? The work of GSTN is to make sure that registrations happen through this common portal. Okay, payment of taxes happen through this portal. Then, do you recollect that IGST was bifurcated between central government and state government? So that settlement of IGST will also be done on this portal. Okay, then we will have, just like we file income tax returns, similarly, we will also have to file the GST returns that can be filed to the government. Okay, then system will prepare the MIS report, Management Information System reports, and it will submit to the central government and state government, from where central government and state government is going to come will come to know about many things about me. Yes, portal, the website is going to furnish the reports to the central government and to the state government. Let's say it will write turnover of this particular person is equal to 5 crore. Tax paid by him is only rupees 10,000. How come it is possible? So such type of reportings will be done to the central government. Then this particular website will also analyze, okay, it will also analyze taxpayer's profile. Whether that particular person is the normal taxpayer, whether he is a defaulter taxpayer, everything will be analyzed by the portal itself. Okay, and then it will also check the input tax credit that we have availed. Do you recollect? We were taking that input tax credit, we were subtracting it from our liability. So that calculations of ITC, etc., even that will be done on this particular portal. These are the functions of whom? These are the functions of the GST. Understanding this? And for doing this, okay, GSTN will have to maintain the GST common portal website. Okay, for maintaining GST common portal, we can take help from GSPs. Okay, GSTN can take help from whom? It can take help from GSP. Ma'am, what do you mean by GSP? GSP stands for GST Suvidha Providers. Okay, Suvidha in Hindi means help. Okay, GST Suvidha Providers. Example. You must have heard about Infosys. Okay, you must have heard about TCS, etc. Can we say these are IT companies? They will help the GSTN to maintain the website. And that's why this Infosys, TCS, Taxman, etc. They will be called as what? They will be called as GSPs. Okay, they will be called as GSPs. And then GSPs can further take help from ASPs. Okay, example. First of all, ASP stands for application service providers. Okay, can we say there will be small developers? Okay, small website developers, website handlers, etc. So Infosys and TCS, instead of doing the work on its own or along with doing the work on its own, it can also take help from some application service providers. And this is how all of these people together, they run our common portal called as gst.gov.in. Primary responsibility is of whom? Primary responsibility is of the GSTN. GSTN can take the help of GSPs, and GSPs can take the help from the ASPs. Understanding this? Yes. Okay. Yes. Chalo. Let's go ahead, everyone. The last thing that we did was about the ASPs. Yes, GSP, ASP, etc. And next thing is about the thing that we have already discussed, something called as compensation cess. Do you recollect? We had discussed about this compensation cess. Yes. In this compensation cess earlier on demerit products and on luxury products, okay, just like your pan masala, tobacco, motor cars, etc., heavy taxes were charged alone by the state government. Okay, but now on these products GST is applicable. So now the revenue is going to be shared between the central government and state government. So there is going to be a loss of revenue, okay, because state government has to share it with the central, na? So there is a loss of revenue to the state government. So state government asked for some amount of compensation. So central government said that, okay, don't worry, we will charge from the customers, we will charge a GST compensation cess, and that amount will be paid by central government to the state governments. Understanding this manageable till here, everyone? Yes. Okay. I'll show you till here. Okay, we have completed few points. Okay, we have completed few points of this framework of GST as introduced in India. Okay, just try to understand this framework of GST as introduced in India. First one, dual GST model. We have already discussed about it. Then the different types of taxes in case of intrastate supply and in case of interstate supply. This we have discussed. Classification of goods and services, goods on the basis of HSN code, services on the basis of service accounting code. Then composition scheme, remember, given to small businessmen that they can pay a discounted rate of GST directly on their turnover. Then registration requirements, only when your aggregate turnover exceeds the threshold limit, then only you are required to get yourself registered. Then similarly, exemptions on certain essential goods and services, the government can give you some exemptions, that is, there will be no GST applicable on the same. Then something called as GST common portal, important, na? GST common portal, that is your website gst.gov.in, and then a different website was there called as e-waybill.gst.gov.in. Okay, the main website was maintained by GSTN. Yes, which is nothing but a Section 8 company. But this e-waybill website, this is managed by NIC, National Informatics Center, which comes under the Ministry of Government of India only. So e-waybill is directly managed by the Government of India, whereas the main website is managed by the GSTN. And then we studied what are the functions of the GSTN. It will make sure that registration happens through this GST portal. Filing of returns happens through this portal. IGST settlement, sharing between central government and state government, that will happen on the portal. Then matching of tax payment details with the banking network. Whenever we pay the amount that got deducted from our bank account and the amount that got credited to the other person, that will be matched. Then MIS report, all the details about the taxpayer will be sent to the governments. Okay. Then taxpayer's profile analysis will be done, whether he is a normal person, whether he is a defaulter person, all those things. And input tax credit matching, okay, whether we have taken proper ITC or not, that matching will be done on this particular website. This can be a theory question. Okay, this can be a theory question. What are the functions of the GSTN? Right? Then we studied about GSPs and ASPs. Do you recollect? TCS, Infosys, Taxman, etc. They will be considered as GSP. And when they are taking help from small developers, then those persons will be called as ASPs. And the last point that we did was compensation cess. That is on some demerit products and on some luxury items. Okay, on some demerit products or on some luxury items, there can be GST compensation cess, which can be charged by the central government, and it will be paid by the central government to the state government because the states were suffering losses because of implementation of GST. Okay, so till here basically we have completed everything. Now can we go ahead? Yes, let's go ahead, everyone here. Okay, now listen. Next thing about GST. Now, when I ask you about implications of GST, and if I ask you about applicability of GST, what will you tell me? Applicability of GST. So, you should tell me that, ma'am, GST is applicable on all goods and services. Okay, this is the by default thing that you will always tell me. It is applicable on all goods and services. Okay, exceptions are there, but first statement should be this only. Yes. Now, GST is not applicable on what? First thing on which GST is not applicable is real estate. Okay, this is a miscellaneous point. On real estate, example, it is not applicable on sale or purchase of land. Okay, it is not applicable on sale or purchase of a ready-made house. Not an under construction, but a full-fledged ready house. GST is not applicable on that. Why? Because it is neither goods nor services. And GST is applicable only on goods and services. Okay, so this is an etc. point. Now, coming to the most important point. Okay, you must have heard about this term called as alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Okay, alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Okay, on this particular product, till now, GST provisions are not applicable. Okay, it is totally kept outside the purview of GST. Okay, fine, ma'am. Apart from this, okay, apart from this, there are 5 more products. Okay, apart from this, there are 5 more products. Ma'am, it means which products? Petroleum crude, high speed diesel we can remember. Okay, motor spirit. Ma'am, what do you mean by motor spirit? It is nothing but petrol. Okay, aviation turbine fuel, the fuel that we require for aeroplanes, aircrafts, etc. Aviation turbine fuel, and natural gas. Okay, for these 5 products, this is one product plus these 5 products. These 5 products are kept outside GST. Okay, for alcoholic liquor for human consumption, they don't have any plans to bring it under GST. So we can say that this is outside the purview of GST. Okay, and for these 5 products, they say that as of now GST is not applicable, but GST can be made applicable from a date which will be notified by central government after taking recommendations. Okay, after taking recommendation from GST Council. Did you understand what did I write here? Alcoholic liquor, no plans of bringing it into GST. So it is totally outside GST. But for these 5 products, they say that as of now, GST is not applicable. But GST may be applicable from a future date. Okay, that date will be told by the central government after taking recommendation from the GST Council. Are you understanding? And forget about real estate. Real estate is not a goods, not a service. So concept of GST is not at all applicable. Are you understanding this? Which products are not there into GST as of now? Whenever I ask you this, the answer should be 1 plus 5 product. Yes? Okay, ma'am. So does that mean that these products are totally tax-free? Should we start the business of alcoholic liquor for human consumption because there are no indirect taxes? No, my dear. Okay, what did I say? Only GST is not applicable. Okay, only GST is not applicable. Ma'am, means what? Listen. Now, when we talk about alcoholic liquor for human consumption, when it is getting manufactured, at that time, state excise duty is applicable. Excise duty, old law. state excise duty is applicable, and when it is sold, at that time VAT or CST will be applicable. Only what is not applicable? GST is not applicable, means they are telling us that please follow the old system. And if we are following the old system, at the time of manufacturing, state excise duty will be charged, and when you are selling it further, at that time VAT or CST is to be paid. Okay. Same way for those 5 products, GST is not applicable, but when you manufacture it, central excise duty is applicable, and VAT CST will be applicable at the time of its sale. Okay. Till here is it okay? Okay, GST is not applicable, but still you are falling under the old system. Okay, now going to the next 2 products. Okay, going to the next 2 products. Now, tobacco, demerit kind of a product. Yes, it is a demerit product. On tobacco, GST applicable or GST not applicable? What did we study? GST is applicable. We did not exclude it here, na? We did not exclude it here, means GST is applicable. So they are telling when it is manufactured, at that time central excise duty is applicable, and when it is sold, at that time GST will be applicable. Ma'am, two taxes. Yes, why? Which type of product is it? Good product or bad product? Bad product. So they say that anyone who wants to still take it will pay more amount of taxes. They want to make the product costly so that people stop using such type of products, right? And similarly for drugs, opium, Indian hemp, or other narcotic drugs, on that also GST is applicable. Okay, and when this is manufactured, at that time state excise duty is also applicable. Okay, so these 2 products, if I want to highlight these 2 products, on this excise duty plus GST is applicable. Okay, and if I want to highlight about these products, on these GST is totally not applicable. Okay, if GST is not applicable, then your excise duty will be applicable plus VAT CST will be applicable at the time of sale. Are you understanding this? Yes, this is a very important table from where you will come to know about the different product and taxability of different products. Okay, now ma'am, does means what? Excise duty, VAT, CST, is it still applicable? Is it not subsumed in GST? Means is it not merged in GST? Normally we will say that yes, old taxes are gone. Okay, but there are certain products on which the old taxes are still applicable, just like we saw the example now. Yes, normally what happened, when GST came in July 2017, old taxes got cut. Okay, old taxes were gone, but on some products still the old taxes are applicable. Okay, now ma'am, which taxes are gone then? Okay, which taxes are gone? Now we will use a term called as subsumed taxes, subsumed in GST. What do you mean by this? Taxes subsumed in GST means the taxes which got merged into GST. Okay, if I talk about central level taxes, okay, central level taxes, all your types of excise duties. See, what we studied on the previous page, that is applicable only on few products. Otherwise, in general, all your excise duties are gone. Similarly, your service tax is gone. CST is gone. Okay, then all the surcharge and cess that were applicable earlier by the central government, even that is gone. Yes, then at the state level, your VAT is gone, main. Okay, VAT is gone. Then you used to have something called as entry tax, that is gone. You used to have something called as purchase tax, that is gone. You used to have something called as taxes on advertisement, that is gone. You used to have taxes on betting, gambling, etc. That is gone. Okay, then there was an entertainment tax levied by state government, that is gone. Okay, entertainment tax by local authority is still there, but entertainment tax by state government is gone. Okay, and then earlier again you used to have some surcharge and cess. okay, which were levied by the state government, that is also. So these were your old taxes, okay, these were your old taxes which got merged and it came into one single tax called as GST. Now there will be no applicability of VAT, CST, service tax, excise duty, etc. Instead of this, which tax should we levy? We are going to levy a tax called as GST. Okay, ma'am, so which taxes are still pending? Which taxes are still applicable? So, income tax, is it still there or it is gone? It is still there. Why? Because it is a direct tax, it is not an indirect tax. Okay. Customs duty, there or gone? Customs duty is still there. Why? It is not a tax on manufacture, it is a tax on import. So it is still existing. Okay, custom duty plus GST will be applicable. Then entertainment tax, this one. Entertainment tax by local authority. Entertainment tax by local authority. That is still there. Okay. Stamp duty that you pay on your immovable property. That is still there. Why? It is nowhere related to goods or services. Are you understanding this? Yes. Now, ma'am, who made this list? You made this list? No. Okay, this list was made by the GST Council. Okay, this list of taxes which will get subsumed in GST, this was made by the GST Council, that these taxes will no more be prevailing and only GST will prevail. So, ma'am, what principles? You see, while subsuming, they must have followed some rules, na? That which taxes should be subsumed and which taxes should not be subsumed. Yes, so they say that they followed 4 principles. Okay, they followed 4 principles while deciding which taxes should get subsumed in GST and which taxes should not get subsumed in GST. Okay, now what was the first principle? First of all, they said that whichever tax you want to subsume, that tax should be an indirect tax. Obviously, that's the reason income tax never got subsumed. Okay, it should be an indirect tax which should relate to supply of goods or services. I said, okay, fine, makes sense. Okay, then it should be such a tax which is forming part of the transaction chain. Ma'am, means what? Any tax which is forming part of what? Any tax which is forming part of transaction chain, starting from the manufacturer to the customer, or in case of goods, or starting from service provider to service recipient. We both, service provider to service recipient. Any taxes which are charged in between, all those should get subsumed. Example, from manufacturer to consumer, can there be excise duty applicable? Old system. Excise duty, VAT, CST. So all those taxes will get subsumed. Okay, service provider to service recipient, old system, service tax was applicable, subsume it. Yes, so any tax which was earlier coming in the transaction chain, please subsume it. Okay, next one. Next principle. Any such tax which is not related to goods or services. Okay, any such tax which is not related to goods or services. It can be indirect tax also. See, here it was subsume those taxes which are indirect taxes. Now here they are telling any such taxes which are not related to goods or service. Example, property tax. Example, municipal taxes. It is not related to goods or service. So, if it is not related to goods or service, okay, then don't subsume it. Okay, don't subsume such taxes. That will not come under GST, that will still be applicable. Yes, or any such taxes which was not giving free flow of credit. What did I say? Any taxes which were not giving free flow of credit. Not giving free flow of credit means excise duty, credit was not available, VAT, CST credit was not available. Any taxes which are not giving free flow of credit, please subsume it. Khatam kar do usko. End it. Please subsume it into GST because that was leading to cascading effect of taxes. right? And the last one is the taxes should be subsumed in such a way that it gives revenue fairness to both central government and state government. Means both should be happy. Okay, both the government should be happy, do something like that. So by keeping these 4 principles in mind, the GST Council decided that which taxes should be subsumed and which taxes should not be subsumed. Okay, here we had the list which will not be subsumed. Here we had the list which taxes should be subsumed. Are you understanding this? Okay, this can be a theory question. What principles are we supposed to keep in mind while subsuming the taxes under GST? And this is whose work? This is the work of the GST Council. Chalo, theek hai, done. Now, okay, I'll show you in the textbook, and then we are going to some different point altogether. Can you see this? Taxes subsumed in GST. Yes, can you see the 4 principles? Point number 1, point number 2, point number 3, and point number 4. 4 principles that we have kept in mind while determining that which taxes should be subsumed and which should not be subsumed. Again, I have written it in the same manner: central taxes and state taxes, and also the taxes which are not subsumed in GST. Manageable till here, everyone? Yes? Okay. Now, I am going to the last 2 points. Okay, last 2 points of these features. Everyone here. Very, very crucial. First, I will teach you the 12th point, not theoretically. If I teach you anything theoretically here, you will not understand anything. Okay, we'll take a numerical example and then we'll do the 11th point. If we do 12th one, 11th will be very, very simple. Yes, can we start? Okay. Now listen. There is a concept called as seamless flow of credit. Means without any barriers. Okay, without any barriers, there is a seamless flow of credit. We'll take 2 examples. First example is intrastate supply. Okay, first example is what? First example is your intrastate supply. Everyone here with me? Ready with your calci? Yes. Let's say we'll take examples of 3 transactions. A to B, B to C, C to D, and A, B, C, D. All of them are situated within the same state of Maharashtra. Okay, first one. A is selling some goods to B. Value is equal to rupees 10,000. GST will be calculated. Which tax? Within the same state. Within the same state. CGST plus Maharashtra SGST. How much? At the rate, let's say total rate of GST is 18%. So can we say CGST at the rate of 9%, Maharashtra SGST at the rate of 9%? 900. Total amount is equal to 11,800. Okay. Now, I'll make a table also here. Just try to understand. I'll make it here in the corner. I'll make 2 columns here. CGST and Maharashtra SGST. Okay. For the first transaction, A to B, can you tell me? This 900 will go to which account? This 900 will go to which account? Can we say A will have to collect this amount from B and will have to pay it to the government? Yes, we will pay 900 to CGST and 900 to Maharashtra SGST. Fine. Second one. B is selling the same goods to C after doing some value addition. Okay. Let's say value is equal to 15,000. Again, everyone is situated in Maharashtra. Which tax will be applied? CGST plus Maharashtra SGST. Basically, we have to see the destination place. No? Destination place, everything is in Maharashtra. So, 99%. 99% comes to 1350. 1350. Total amount comes to 17,700. Normal. How much amount do we pay to the government? Can we say to the government, CGST of 1350 is payable. SGST of 1350 is payable. Will we take the ITC? Yes. How much tax did we pay at the earlier level? CGST ITC we will take of 900 rupees. SGST ITC we will take off another 900 rupees, same this amount. Yes. How much is the net amount payable? Now net amount payable is 450. Here also it is going to be 450. Can we say here we use the credit, but this amount we will have to pay by cash? Yes. So can we say in the second transaction, that is B2C, ultimate amount that we are paying to CGST is 450. Ultimate amount that we are paying to SGST is another 450. Yes. Okay. Last. Third one is the transaction from C to D. Okay, transaction from C to D. Just try to understand. Let's say value is equal to 20,000 plus same CGST at the rate of 9%, 1800 rupees. SGST at the rate of 9% is equal to 1800 rupees. Total amount charged is equal to 23,600. How much amount do we pay to the government? CGST payable is 1800 rupees. Okay. SGST payable is equal to another 1800. Will we take this? Will we take the ITC? Yes. How much tax was paid at the previous level? 1350, 1350. So we took the credit of 1350 and here also 1350. How much amount is left? Again, 450 is left, 450 is left. This is the amount that we have to pay to the government in cash. So for the third transaction, that is C to D, again we paid 450, 450. Manageable. How much is the total revenue? 1800 goes to CGST, 1800 goes to Maharashtra SGST. Let's tally this. How do we tally? Ultimately, at what amount did we finally sell it? Finally, we sold it to D at 20,000. On that, GST payable is 1800, 1800, and that has reached to the government. Are you understanding this? Okay, and D belongs to which state? D belongs to Maharashtra state. That's why the revenue is going to Maharashtra SGST. Are you understanding till here? This is how the calculation is done. Okay, now here there was no problem. Why there was no problem? Because it was an intrastate supply. Okay, when will the problem arise? Okay, the problem will arise when this particular transaction is an interstate supply. Let's do that. Let's try that. Let's see what is the problem. Yes. Okay. Same. A to B, B to C, and C to D. Okay. Let's start one by one. A of Maharashtra is selling to B of Maharashtra. First one I have taken as intra only. Okay. Let's say value is equal to 10,000. Can you tell me now which tax will he charge? He will charge, since both of them are in Maharashtra only, it is intrastate. So he will charge CGST plus Maharashtra SGST. 900, 900. Total amount charged is equal to 11,800. Okay. Now tell me how much amount is payable. Okay, I'll make the table here at the end of the page. I'm making a column called as, let's say, first column is CGST. Second column that I'm making is Maharashtra SGST. Okay. First transaction, that is A to B. How much amount of tax is payable? Can we say to the government we have to pay 900 and 900? Yes, 900 CGST, next 900 Maharashtra SGST. Let's put it in the column also. 900 we will pay here, 900 we will pay here. Manageable? ठीक. Chalo, next one. Second one. B of Maharashtra sells it to C of Tamil Nadu. Interstate or intrastate? Interstate. Which tax will be applicable? IGST. Okay. Value is equal to 15,000. Which tax will you put here? IGST at the rate of full 18%. 2,700. Total value 17,700. Now, how much amount do we pay to the government? To the government, amount payable is IGST of IGST of 2,700. Can we use the credit? Yes. Which credit are we using? These two. CGST, because this amount we have already paid to the government, no? So, we subtracted CGST credit of 900, SGST credit of 900. Fine. How much is still left? 900 is still left. So, this IGST we have to pay in cash. Manageable till here? Which credit did we set off against what? CGST credit we set off against IGST liability. Similarly, SGST credit we set off against IGST liability. Okay. Now see its implication in the table. 900 we are using which credit? CGST and SGST to pay which liability? To pay IGST liability. Okay, everyone here. This is B2C. We subtracted CGST from here and we used it for paying IGST. Similarly, we subtracted 900 from here. We used it for paying IGST. And plus 900 we paid by way of cash. So as of now, 2,700 is kept in which account? 2,700 is kept in IGST. Right? Okay. Last transaction. Third one. C was of Tamil Nadu. C sold it to D of Tamil Nadu. Can we say intrastate? Okay. Value is equal to, let's say, 20,000. Which tax will he charge now? It is intrastate. Will charge CGST plus Tamil Nadu SGST. Destination, no? Destination is Tamil Nadu. Okay. So, 9%, 1800, 1800. Total amount 23,600. Manageable? Tell me, how much amount do we pay to the government? We have to pay CGST of 1800 and we have to pay Tamil Nadu SGST of 1800. Do we have any credits? Yes, previous level we purchased, no? Previous level we purchased from B and we paid IGST of 2,700. So we have credit of 2,700. How do we use it? 2,700 we have, just remember that. So first use it against CGST. This is 0. Still we have some credit left with us. Okay, total credit was 2,700. We used 1,800. How much is still left? 900. 900 is still left. That will go from here. How much is the balance tax payable in cash? 900. And which is this tax? This is Tamil Nadu SGST. Okay. How do we put it? Now, for the third transaction, that is C to D. First, we used which credit? We used the ITC of IGST. So, from IGST, we subtracted 1,800 and we used it for paying CGST. Right? Next, we used the credit of 900 of IGST for Tamil Nadu SGST. Okay. Tamil Nadu SGST. We used 900 from here and we paid here. Plus we paid 900 by cash. Right? That is this figure. Can you do the totals and can you give me the answer? Can we say this is 1,800? This is 0. This is 0. And this is 1,800. Can you see the column headings? 1,800 goes to which account? CGST. 1,800 goes to which account? Tamil Nadu SGST. Rest are 0. Can you see where are the goods finally consumed? The goods are finally consumed in Tamil Nadu state. And final value is equal to 20,000 on which tax is 1,800 and 1,800. So can we say this 1,800 should finally go to central government and this 1,800 should go to the destination state? That is what has happened here. CGST 1,800 here and 1,800 to the Tamil Nadu. Are you understanding this? Yes. Why this is possible? Okay, this is possible only because of the concept of seamless flow of credit. At every level you are getting the credit. That's the reason this thing is possible. Are you understanding this? Yes. Anyway, these notes I'll be sharing with you, class notes, so you can refer it. Now see what are they telling us, everyone here. Seamless flow of credit. See what is written. Remember I told you if you directly read the theory, you won't be able to understand. Yes, see. Since GST is a destination-based consumption tax, revenue of SGST will ordinarily accrue to the consuming states. Which is your consuming state here? Consuming state is Tamil Nadu, so revenue should go to that government. Right? Acha, revenue of interstate sale will not accrue to the exporting state. And the exporting state will be required to transfer the credit to the center. The credit of SGST or UTGST used in payment of IGST. Wait, in case of interstate. In our case, B2C was interstate. Okay, it was from Maharashtra to Tamil Nadu. So, revenue will not go to Maharashtra. Remember, we subtracted from Maharashtra. And it will go to the IGST. See, it is written here. It will not go to the exporting state. It will not go to Maharashtra. And the exporting state, Maharashtra, will be required to transfer it to the center. IGST belongs to whom? IGST belongs to the center. So we transferred this 900 here because we use the credit. Yes. And the center will be required to transfer to the importing state the credit of IGST used in payment of SGST. Center will transfer it to the importing state. Which was the importing state here in this transaction? Tamil Nadu to Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu to Tamil Nadu. We use the IGST credit that was transferred to our state, to whom the revenue should go. That is, this 900 we used as credit that was transferred to the Tamil Nadu. Same thing that we did here, plus, minus, etc. Same thing is written here in the statement. Yes, and on the next page. On the next page, they have given you the example. See, the first example is of intrastate supply. Second example is of interstate supply. And same table that we made. Okay, same table that we made. Same thing is done here also. Okay, just that I have used different figures so that you have one more example left in your textbook to try on your own. Are you understanding this? Yes. Okay, and then coming to the previous point. Coming to the previous point here of manner of utilization of ITC. Do you recollect? We utilized the ITC. Different credit we utilized against different liability. Yes. Now, if you have IGST credit, just like here we had some IGST credit, na? See, here we paid this 2,700. Yes, so we had IGST credit. This IGST credit we used against what? We used it against CGST. We also used it against SGST. So they are giving you a sequence. If you have IGST credit, first use it against IGST liability. Okay. Then if you still have some credit available with you, use it against CGST or SGST. But there is no sequence. Means C is also allowed, S is also allowed. Okay. But first against IGST liability. Similarly, when you have got CGST credit with you, first use it for paying the CGST liability. Same against same. First use it against that. If you still have any pending amount, then use it against IGST, but it cannot be used for SGST. C cannot be used against S. S cannot be used against C. Means there is always a cross between CGST and SGST. Yes, can you give me the answer for the last one? SGST or UTGST credit. If you have, then it will be used against the same liability. Okay. If still it is left, then use it for IGST liability, but don't use it for CGST. Okay. This will come when we do the ITC chapter. Numericals, etc. on this will come when we do the ITC chapter. Okay. Just that it was mentioned in the first chapter, so I just told you. Otherwise, okay, don't apply much on this as of now. Full-fledged discussion, full-fledged sum solving is going to come when we do the ITC chapter. Yes, but the most important thing that you need to understand here is the seamless flow of credit. Okay, that you have to understand from here only. And because of credit available at every level, because of that, there was no cascading effect. And finally, the revenue is going to the exact government. Okay, finally, the revenue is going to the exact government. Understanding this manageable till here? Yes. Okay. So with this, we are done with our framework, features of GST part. Okay, features of GST, not here, here. Features of GST is totally framework or GST or features of GST, whatever you want to call it as, that thing is totally done till here. Yes, now only two concepts left in the chapter. One is your benefits of GST and second one is your constitutional provisions. Yes, can we take it everyone? Can we start it? Simple chapter, no? Yes, just that you will come to know about many new things here because it is altogether new for you. Okay, but when you go to the next chapter, you will find this chapter was what? Very simple. Okay, very manageable. But we need to understand the concept from here. That is very important. Yes, if your base is clear, rest all the chapters will become very simple for you. Sure, let's get started. Everyone. Now here they are talking about benefits of GST. Okay, benefits of GST. Now, what benefit has the GST given to our country, to our taxpayers, to our economy, to our industries that they have discussed? Now see, first of all, when they introduced GST, they came up with a notion called as one nation, one tax. Okay, means India has become a unified market. Okay, what did I say? India has become a unified market. If I am purchasing the goods from the same state, then also rate of tax is same. If I am purchasing the goods from another state, then also the taxes are going to be same. So India has become one full market, unified market, one single market has been created. Acha, now because of this, people have started manufacturing here in India because they know that now there is no cascading taxes, now there is no multiple taxes. So they have started manufacturing the goods now in India only. Yes, and because of that, can we say Make in India concept has been boosted? Yes, if you start the manufacturing here in India, can we say more and more investment will be done in India only? Yes, if more and more investment will be done in India, if more and more factories will be started here in India, that will also lead to more and more employment opportunities here in India. So this is the biggest benefit to the economy, continuous benefit to the economy, right? Okay, then this GST, they call it as a simplified tax structure. Why? They say that it has become easy for the businessmen to do business. They are not required to bear any burden of taxes. They just have to pass into the other person. Okay, and there is a transparency. Okay, there is a transparency. This is your sales minus this is the tax on your purchases, input tax credit, that's all. Okay, there is a certainty. Whereas in the old law, there was no certainty. VAT was applicable on value including excise. VAT was applicable on the value including service tax. There was no certainty. But now there is a certainty. Now there is a transparency. Right? Achha. Next, because of the information technology, because of that GST common portal, many of the things have become automated. Okay, when we go ahead in our syllabus, you will understand this, how things have become automated. Yes, and because of that, since things have become simple, the compliance cost, okay, to comply with some process, that cost is also reduced. Means, let's say earlier your accounts, indirect taxes relating, I am telling you, if your accounts was managed by 5 accountants, now only 2 of them can manage everything. Okay, so can we say your cost has reduced? Yes. Many of the small businessmen have started filing their GST return on their own. No need to go to any professional for that purpose. So their cost is reduced. Right? And the last one, overall benefit. Okay, overall benefit to the trade and industry. That is right from the agriculture to the service sector. Everyone has got benefited. Okay, they are not required to bear any amount of taxes. Okay, you are there in the full flow of credit now. There is no requirement to bear any taxes. So everyone is getting benefited, from farmer to service provider, everyone is getting benefited. Yes, they have to pass on the burden to the next person, and finally the last person will pass on the burden to the consumer. That's it. Right? And because of that, cascading effect is totally gone. There is nothing called as tax on tax. Because of that, even the inflation is under control. Imagine if we were still in the era of VAT and CST. What would have happened by now? Right? And then because of the registration threshold limit, 20 lakh rupees example that I had given you, because of that, and because of composition scheme, do you recollect small people, some benefits were given? Because of these, it has also benefited the small businessmen and the small entrepreneurs also. So these are some of the benefits. Okay, these are some of the benefits which have been given by the government to us in the form of GST. Yes. Okay. This was about your benefits of GST. Now can we go ahead to the last part? Yes. Constitutional provisions. Okay, everyone here. I'll have to explain you something, so I'm taking here in the class notes. Yes. Now listen. Uh, in the beginning, I had explained you that before bringing GST, okay, before bringing GST, they had to do some constitutional amendments. Do you recollect that? Yes. Why constitutional amendment was required? Because earlier there was nothing called as dual model. Okay, either the powers were with the central government or the powers were with the state government, but now they had to give dual powers, joint powers to both central government as well as state government. For that purpose, we are studying the constitutional provisions in detail. Yes. Now see, what they are telling is, in India, okay, in India, we follow three-tier system. Okay, first, the most important government is your central government. Next government is your state government. And third level of government is your local authority, municipal corporation, panchayats, etc. And everyone have been given their own powers to levy the taxes. Example, central government levies income tax. State government was levying VAT. Okay, or state government levies your stamp duty, etc. Yes, and local authority will levy its own taxes like your municipal taxes, etc. Yes, this is how India was operating, because this was mentioned in our Bible. Okay, this was mentioned in our constitution, and we cannot go beyond the constitution because constitution is the supreme law in our country. Okay, now this constitution, it consists of a preamble to the constitution. You must have studied in your school, maybe in English, preamble to the constitution. And our constitution is divided into many articles, okay, many articles and many schedules. So it has got 448 articles and 12 schedules. Just like an act is divided in various sections, na? Same way our constitution is divided into these many articles and these many schedules. Okay, can we override the constitution? Can we go beyond our constitution? No. If you want to go beyond the constitution, first change the constitution. Right? Now see, ma'am, where is it written that you cannot go beyond the constitution? I'll tell you. Okay, now I'm going to tell you 3 articles. Okay, first one is article number 265. Next one is your article number 245, and next one is your article number 246. 3 articles from your constitution, I'll tell you about it. Okay, now article number 265 says that no tax should be levied, means charged, or no tax should be collected except as per authority of law. Means what? If you want to collect any tax, first of all, law should give you the powers. earlier law had given us the powers to levy VAT, CST, service tax, excise duty, etc. Okay, till now GST was not included in the constitution. So they are telling that if you want to levy any tax, it should be as per the authority of the law. If it is legal, then only you can levy the tax, not otherwise. If it is legal, then only you can levy the tax. Imagine I levy a tax called as Arpita tax. Allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. Why? It is not as per the authority of law. Understanding this? This is told by which article? This is told by article number 265. Next, article number 245. What does this article say? This article is very clear. Okay, it says Parliament has the powers to make law for whole of the country, whole of India. And state has got the powers to make laws for whole or part of that state. Okay, understood. Whenever I use the word parliament, it is as good as central government here. Okay, means whenever central government is making any particular law, central government will make it for whole of India. And whenever state government is making any law, that will be applicable only to that particular state. Yes. Whole or part of India or whole or part of the state. Yes, very simple. Ma'am, logical. Okay. Then 246 said that this point was for making laws. Okay, now 246 talks about levying of taxes. Levying of taxes. Now, in case of levying of taxes, they say that respective authority is given to central government, respective authority is given to state government to levy the taxes. Okay, means what? So we went into detail and we checked the 7th schedule. Okay, we checked the 7th schedule of the same article, that is article number 246. In that we came to know, okay, that 7th schedule has got 3 lists within it. One is the union list, list 1, union list. List 2 is the state list. And list 3 is the concurrent list. Concurrent list. Okay. Now, in union list, the powers to levy taxes is exclusively, only, solely with the parliament. Power to make laws, power to impose taxes is solely with whom? It is solely with the parliament. The matters which are contained in state list, those powers are exclusively with whom? Exclusively with the state government. And the matters which are listed in concurrent list, those are with both of them, that is central government and state government. Okay, now example. Every decision regarding income tax will be made by parliament because income tax is forming part of union list. Everything relating to stamp duty will be decided by the state government because it is contained in the state list. Can you give me an example now of concurrent list? Everything relating to GST will be present in the concurrent list. Why it will be present in the concurrent list? Because powers are there with both central government as well as state government. Okay, so GST was earlier not mentioned in the concurrent list. Now they have added GST in the concurrent list. Are you understanding this? Yes? Acha. Next question, which will maybe again come in your mind. So ma'am, what was the need for amendment? What was the need for constitutional amendment? Arey Baba, earlier VAT was forming part of state list, right? CST was forming part of union list. Service tax was forming part of union list. But now, GST should form part of what? GST should form part of concurrent list. For that, we will have to change the article, na? For that, we will have to change the article, or we will have to put a new article in your constitution. That's the reason we are studying about the constitutional amendment. Okay, now because of this, three new articles were added. Okay, because of this, three new articles were added. Article number 246A, article number 269A, and article number 279A. Okay, these three articles were added. Okay, 279A we will discuss separately because it talks about formation of a council called as GST council. We'll take it up as a separate discussion. Okay, now listen. 246A says what? 246 says that who is having the power? Who is having the power to make laws relating to GST? So they said that Parliament plus legislature of every state. Parliament plus legislature of every state. They have got the powers of what? They have got the powers to make laws relating to GST. Can we say both of them are coming combined? Yes, if both of them are coming combined, then there is a dual GST thing that is applicable. Yes, ठीक है. Now, but in two cases, that is in case of interstate supply. Do you recollect interstate supply? That is in case of where IGST is applicable. Okay, in case of interstate supply and for matters relating to place of supply. Means if there is any dispute relating to interstate supply or place of supply, that where is the actual destination. Okay, example. Let's say I'm sitting here in Maharashtra and I'm providing online classes in Tamil Nadu. Then in that case, there can be a dispute, na? Ma'am, where are the services actually provided? Are the services provided in Maharashtra itself or are the services provided in Tamil Nadu? So if there is any problem in relation to this, then these powers are solely there with whom? These powers are solely there with the Parliament. Okay, only two matters where only central government has got the decision making authority. One is in case of interstate supply. Remember, I told you IGST will be collected by the central government. Then central government will do the bifurcation. How to do the bifurcation, etc. I'm not talking about that. But amount was collected by whom? Amount was collected by the central government. And whenever there is any disputes, okay, whenever there is any dispute relating to place of supply, that where is the supply actually done? Okay, then for this, the matter will be decided by the Parliament. Otherwise, for all the other matters relating to GST, both of them will together decide. Okay, Jugalbandi, Parliament plus legislature of, means friendship, Parliament plus legislature of every state plus the central government will take the decisions relating to GST. Manageable, everyone? Okay. Then article number 246A. Article number 246A is done. One more article was inserted here called as article number 269A. Okay, one is 246A and the next one is article number 269A, which talks only about interstate supply. Means how does it work? They are basically talking about that. Interstate supply. Can you tell me something about interstate supply? I am highlighting something. Everyone on the board. Can you tell me something about interstate supply? Yes. For interstate supply, can we say sole powers are with whom? Exclusive powers. Sole powers are with the Parliament. That is with the central government. Okay. On interstate supply, which taxes are applicable? So IGST is applicable. Okay. IGST revenue will then be shared between central government and between the state government. Okay. And third and the most important point, this state government portion, okay, the tax which goes to the state government, that will not get accumulated in a fund called as Consolidated Fund of India. What did I say? The portion of state government revenue will not go in Consolidated Fund of India. Ma'am, means what? Consolidated Fund of India belongs to whole of India. Whereas the money which goes to the state government, does it belong to whole of India or it belongs only to that state? It belongs only to that state. Are you understanding this? Yes? Okay. Done. And then last point, which I am repeating again. In case of place of supply, matters will be decided solely by the central government. I have already told you this here. One more point. In case of import-export also, the matters will be decided by the central government. Correct or incorrect? Incorrect. Correct. Correct. Why correct? Import was deemed as with supply. Import was deemed as interstate supply. And interstate supply powers are with whom? Interstate supply powers are with the central government. Are you understanding this? Yes, so all these things are mentioned. Whatever we have discussed, these are mentioned in the respective articles. Are you understanding this? Yes. And then going on to the last article. Okay, that is article number 279A, very important. Okay, very important, star mark. Which talks about what? This talks about the GST Council. Okay, now listen. I'll take it to the next page. Okay, everyone here. Article number 279A. Now see, when they wanted to bring GST, at that time, the first step there was to do constitutional amendment. Okay, new government came in the year 2014. It did the constitutional amendment till 2016. Gone, done. Now what? Okay, then the President of India. Okay, President of India formed a GST Council. Okay, actually this was formed on 12th September 2016. But President approved it on 15th September 2016. So basically, GST Council came into picture on 15th September 2016. Okay, and this GST Council was then required to make the laws. Remember, CGST Act, SGST Act, IGST Act, etc. GST Council was required to make the laws. Now the question arises, who will come and sit? Who will come and sit in the GST Council? So can we say people from central government and state government should come and sit? Dual powers was given, so both members from both the government should come and sit in the GST Council. Yes. So first let's check what is the constitution, like who will come and sit. Okay. Now there will be a head here, main chairperson. What did I say? There will be a chairperson who will come and sit in this. Who is this chairperson? This is our Honorable Finance Minister of the country, Finance Minister of India. That person will come and sit here as the chairperson of the GST Council. Okay. Then within this, we are going to have two category of members. Okay, we are going to have few category of members, two categories. Okay, first person is going to be Union Minister of State who is in charge of revenue or finance. Any person who is a Union Minister means he is a person of central government only. A FM is also a person of central government. This Union Minister is also a person of central government who is looking after all the states. Okay, and who is taking the charge of revenue or finance department. That person is also coming here and sitting not as a chairperson but as a member. This one was the chairperson. Yes, and then from every state we will take one minister who is in charge of finance or taxation. Maharashtra 1% we will send, Delhi 1% we will send, Rajasthan 1% we will send, Tamil Nadu 1%, and that's why I have made many faces here. Okay, many faces will be there, representing whom? Representing the state count. Are you understanding the constitution here, everyone? Yes. So in this GST council, okay, in this GST council, there will be people from central government also, and there will be people from state government also. Yes. Now, ma'am, what is their work? Ma'am, what is their work? This is the constitution. Okay, what is their work? What are the functions? So their work is to first decide which taxes will be subsumed in GST. Remember VAT, CSTs, excise, service tax, etc. Okay. On which products exemption will be available? Essential goods and services. Okay. To make the GST laws, to make the model GST laws, to make the CGST Act, IGST Act, etc. To do the apportionment of IGST. Remember, IGST was divided into CGST and SGST. To do that apportionment. Then threshold limit for registration. If I am below the threshold limit, I will be exempted. If I am not below the threshold limit, I will not be exempted. Okay. Example, we have taken of 20 lakhs. Then to determine the rates which will be applicable on goods and services. Either an actual rate will be given or a floor rate will be given with bands. Example, between 18% to 28%. This is a band, lower, higher, that way. Or they can directly say a rate of GST is equal to 18%. This will be told by whom? This will be told by the GST council. Then suppose if any particular state has suffered natural calamity or disaster, then can we say we will need more funds, we will need more resources to revive that particular state? So there can be some special rates applicable for a specified period. Instead of 18%, they will increase it to 28%. Possible because the state wants more revenue. Then for some special category states, okay, for some special category states like Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim, Tripura. These are your northeastern states. Okay, plus Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand. For these special category states, they can make some special provision to bring them at par with other states. Okay, they say GST law assumes that these states are a little behind in business as compared to other states. So they are telling we will make special provisions and we will bring them at par with other states, right? And to recommend from which day GST will be applicable on those 5 products. Remember, petroleum products. This is whose work? All these things are the work of the GST Council. GST Council was formed by whom? GST Council was formed by the President. Are you understanding this? Yes? Okay. Now listen. Can we say to decide, now only this much is left, okay? Now to decide all these things, GST Council will have to conduct meetings. Okay, GST Council will have to conduct the meetings. And for conducting the meetings, can we say there should be a quorum present? Minimum number of members should be present. Yes. Imagine only one person is coming and sitting for the GST Council meeting. Chalega ki nahi chalega? Allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. Okay. So they are telling that half of the members, half of the total number of members, half of the total number of members should be present. Let's say, for example, there are 30 members in the GST Council. So at least 15 members should be present so that your meeting is a valid meeting. Yes? Okay. Next. Whenever we want to take any decision, okay, whenever we want to take any decision, can we say we will need a majority to approve something? Yes. How much majority? 3/4 of the weighted votes. Okay, 3/4 of the weighted votes. This much majority you should get, then only the matter will be considered as done. Yes? Ma'am, till 3/4 it was okay. 3/4 majority, 3/4 of the people should say yes. That much is understandable. But what do you mean by 3/4 of the weighted votes? Okay, listen everyone. Let's say total 30 members were there. Okay, all of them are present. Wow. All of them are present and all of them are voting in the meeting. Super awesome. Now, from central government, let's say you have 2 members. From state government, let's say you have 28 members. Okay, this is the bifurcation. And now here, 2 of 2 members voted in favor of that decision. Means both of them said, yes, we are okay with the decision. Okay. But out of this 28 state government members, let's say for example, 25 members out of 28 voted in favor and 3 said nonsense decision. We cannot go ahead with it. Okay. Now, how will we determine whether this is approved or this is not approved? Whether this decision is approved or this is not approved? Now, can you calculate the percentage voting here? Can we say 100% voted in favor? 2 out of 2. And 25 out of 28 voted in favor. Means can we say 89.29% people voted in favor? Yes, we wanted a majority of 3/4, that is 75%, but of the weighted votes. Ma'am, how do we calculate the weighted votes? Now see, normal mathematical calculation. Central government, 100% voting was there. In favor, okay, favor votes. State government, 89.29% voting was there. Right? Now, they are telling that please give some weightage. Law says that give a weightage of 1/3 to the central government and 2/3 weight to the state government. I said, okay. Now calculate the products. Favor multiplied by weights. So this I will get 100% into 1/3. I will get it as 33.33%. Yes. State government 89.29 multiplied by 2/3. I will get somewhere around 59.52%. Okay, your decimals can differ, that is okay. Means I have got a voting of how much percent total? 92.85% somewhere. This 92.85 is called as what? This is called as weighted votes. This should have been at least how much percent? This should have been at least 75%. And have I crossed that border of 75%? Yes. Means this decision will be assumed to be pass. See, because you cannot take any decision on the basis of this 100% and 89%. Now you have 2 percentages available. So they told that please give them some weights. I gave them weights, and by doing the weighted average, I got it as 92% point something. Means which is more than 3/4. Means this decision is taken by majority and therefore this decision is done. Are you understanding? Okay, ma'am, where is it written? See, here it is written. Quorum was half. Yes, and decision should be taken by a majority of at least 3/4 of the weighted votes. Vote of central government will have a weightage of 1/3. Vote of state government will have a weightage of 2/3. Are you understanding this? Yes. This was your provision of article number 279A. Okay, article 279A talks about what? Article number 279A talks about your GST council. Are you understanding this? Yes. Okay. Now, one reference of article. This is not a new article, but a reference of another article is given. That is article number 368. Okay, article number 368 says what? It says that Constitution has given the powers to do changes in article number 279A. Okay, article 368 gives the powers to do changes in article number 279A. Article number 279A talks about the GST Council. Means this article says that if you want to do any changes in the GST Council, example, if we want to do changes in the constitution of the GST Council, chairperson, members, etc., if we want to do some changes there, then that can be done. Okay, that permission is given by whom? That permission is given by article number 368. But ma'am, how do we do those changes? So, there is a 3 level of approval required. First, go to Lok Sabha. In Lok Sabha, take approval from 2/3 of the members. Yes. Once done, then go to Rajya Sabha. In Rajya Sabha also, take approval from 2/3 of the members. Once done, then go to states, majority of the states, because GST Council has members from the states also, na? Go to all the states. At least 50% of the states should agree to your changes. If all the 3 things are done, then changes in the GST Council can be done. Are you understanding this? This is told where? This is told in article number 368. That is amending article number 279A. 2/3 majority in each house of parliament. Each house of parliament is going to be your Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. And then at least half of the states, 50% of the states, 50% of the states should say yes for the changes. Are you understanding this, everyone? Yes? Okay. So till here, basically, all your provisions, all your basic provisions relating to GST comes to an end. Okay? Abhi, now everyone here. At the end of the chapter, they have just compiled the important provisions of the Constitution Amendment Act, which was passed earlier. All the points in the beginning we have done. Only the different points here are point number 10, 11 and 12. Let's try to understand what is this. Point number 10 is a date specific point which says that GST Council came into force on 12 September, but the President constituted it on 15 September. I have already told you about this. Okay, that is one. Okay, second one. In the old law, there was a constitution, there was a provision relating to declared goods of special importance, means some special goods. In the old law, there was a provision relating to this declared goods of special importance. That provision is done away with. Done away with means that provision has been totally removed. Yes. And the last one is whenever they bring a new law. Okay, when we went from VAT, CST, service tax, excise duty to GST, can we say it was new for everyone? Yes, definitely. It was new for everyone. So they said that for this transition from old law to new law, they will give you some relief. Okay, they will give you some leniency. Okay, they will not be strict with you. Okay, they may still say that old taxes are applicable, but this will be applicable only for a period of 1 year from commencement of GST. Means basically they are giving you this 1 year time period just to adjust with the new law. And what is the time period for that adjustment? Time period for that adjustment is maximum a time period of 1 year. Yes, anyway, this provision is now not relevant. Why? 1 year from the date of implementation of GST is already over. Okay, so now there are no relaxations. Now they say that everyone is used to the new law. Okay, so this is kind of not relevant. Declared goods of special importance is also one time read. Okay, there was this provision earlier. Now they have removed this provision, and this is just a date related point. Constitution of the GST Council. Are you understanding this? Yes, this was all about your first chapter, that is GST in India and introduction. Yes, I hope the chapter was manageable for you. Yes, we took many numerical examples, we did many mathematical calculations. Yes, and we have tried to remember maximum things here in the class itself. Yes, seamless flow of credit, super duper nice concept. Okay, which gives you the actual flow, which also shows you how actually the GST works, right? So this is done here, and with this we are done with the chapter. Yes, so now after this, what are you supposed to do? Okay, after this, you already have the textbooks available with you. Okay, you already have the notes available with you. Please read the entire chapter once. Okay, after that, try solving the question answers, MCQs, etc. Okay, if you are a regular batch student, we will be doing the subjective question answers and MCQs in the class itself. Okay, if not, then do it on your own. Okay, questions are given, answers are given, everything is given. Try to solve it on your own. Use revision notes, use revision videos for doing the revision. Try doing that at least. Yes, and with this, we wind up our first chapter. Please revise this, please do the question answers, etc. Then only jump to the next chapter. Okay, be very confident, be very sure about the first chapter, then only go to the next one. It will be super simple for you. Yes, so I meet you for the next lecture. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Happy studying.